Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match of Final Fantasy V Three-Day Variety Tournament. Our first match of this week in the round of 8. It is a boss blackout bingo. Our racers are theseawolf1 versus ArchfieldMonk. I am Fiery Blizzard, and with me today on the commentary booth is Dryalizer. How are you doing today, Dryalizer?
Doing great, Fiery. Sorry for the delay, but we've got it all worked out now, and I'm excited to see the first match under this flag set. I think it's going to be, well, it could go one of two. It could go one way or it could go the other way. It could be really, really rough, or maybe we could get lucky and find all the tablets fairly early.
Yes, so for those of you unfamiliar with this mode, this is actually the first time we're playing this mode. There are 25 bosses on the board. You must find and defeat all 25 of them. There are 50 randomized bosses in the game. So you have to defeat one half of the bosses, although you may need to defeat more to be able to access boss locations, because we start off with exactly 0 key items. And of course, there are bosses locked behind those key items.
Yeah, the reason I was saying that it might be a full clear is because I think you've done practice runs that ended up being basically full clears. Because if one of those spots requires all 4 tablets and the final boss location, you've got to go all the way to the end to clear it.
Yes, and so these racers, once they get through the sort of normal beginning that you would see in any standard seed, are going to have to contend with when do they want to dip certain locations. Is it wise to dip the void early to see what bosses you can possibly get to, possibly loot the void itself that has good items? Or do you say, I don't want to waste my time going into the void, I'm going to try to do everything in the overworld first and then do the void last? Because the void itself doesn't have any key items, so you will not open up any more bosses once going into the void. So,
yeah,
how risky do you want to be?
Yeah, I was gonna say underwater areas have no value, but the thing is, in Blackout Bingo, you might have to go to an underwater area to get the boss down there. So you can still track your hints and follow the sort of regular progression through the randomizer, but you need to, those barren hints aren't really all that useful. You need to make sure that you're checking those barren areres too.
We are starting with Blue Mage, which I certainly am hoping for my race. If anyone watched my race on Sunday, it'd be pretty obvious why I would want Blue Mage. Very powerful class to kill bosses very, very quickly.
I think we've seen a few blue spells like Aquarake and Emission pop up already too, so that's really nice for Blue Mage, and I think I just saw Break spell as well.
Yeah, so...
which is black, but still a good spell.
Yes. Let's see. So, like I said, we're probably going to start off pretty normal. So, the key here is we don't actually have any tablets, so going into Sealed Castle to get sort of the 3 items that may or may not break the game early, we do not have that access. So we're going to be a little bit less powerful than what you would normally see in a standard seed. Although, to sort of differentiate that, we actually have a slightly different tier overflow than what we normally run. We normally run, say, a 3-tier overflow with a 15% chance, whereas in this case we're running a 4-tier overflow with a 20% chance, which means that you are more likely to get powerful items and random chests in World 1 and World 2 than you would otherwise.
Lots of good stuff here in Tool. I saw Gold Hairpin, and I saw like Ice 3 Sword Magic. So that overflow is working in the racer's favor. I don't think it's going to be too tough to gain power after you get maybe a few bosses down, especially if we get an early tablet. We do have access to World 2, so we can just go grab something out of Sealed pretty quickly.
So I will commentate on what you were saying about how barren hints are a little bit misleading. I would actually disagree. I think they are probably the most useful hints that you can possibly get in the entire game for this mode, because that means that you can just face check. If it's not a
Yeah, you
boss you
can
need to
reset
defeat,
out.
you can
Yep.
just reset and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're looking for levels early on, you might take the fight, but otherwise, yeah, you know that it's not going to give a key item, so you don't have to actually do the fight. You just are checking the location to see what boss it is and if it's on your board. Good point. I have yet to run this flag set, so thanks for the correction.
Yeah, I mean, I only did one with Z-Man yesterday to sort of try to get a feel for how long these are, and of course we have a full clear seed. That's by the time we got to World 3, we're just like, we're co-oping this. Taking too long. We were 2 hours in and we had 12 squares filled.
Yeah,
It
this
was
has the potential to be some long, drawn-out seeds. We'll see how it goes.
So I was saying, ooh,
time.
Deathclaw.
Very nice.
That's nice. I will say, as a commentator and as a viewer, I am hoping to see 4 pages available really quickly. That way, we can hopefully get some divergences in World 3, because I would expect both runners to full clear World 1 and World 2 as much as they can before doing any of the World 3 checks.
Flying Lonka Ruins are Path of the Void. That's the librarian hint.
We got Seawolf going into World 2 doing some looting. We got ArchfieldMonk staying in World 1. Ben Carwin. And we find Shote.
Very nice. Don't know if we can use that one yet, but maybe soon.
There's a chemist. There you go. If you know Death by Math strats, the game is now is essentially free for the most part.
Starting with blue and picking up chemist early, you can manipulate everything.
And there is no defeat omniscient on the board, so you are mostly safe. I will say, one of the more interesting things in my practice seed yesterday, that defeat Stalker Square. If you find Stalker very deep in the void, say I found it at Necro spot, or you find it at the Neo X Def spot, which is now randomized, what you can do is Dark Shock twice, mix, and then Dark Shock again, and L5 Doom Stalker, and not have to deal with anything.
Yeah, Stalker's level 7. So, and then the game ignores decimals, so you can take him down to 3 and 1, and up to 11, and then down to 5, and then he's Death by Math, and it's actually a lot faster than most other means of fighting him.
Yeah, I mean, unless you see Stalker early, which I'm sure both racers right now, when they had a long time to look at this card, they were hoping to see early Stalkers and early Necro. You know, those are sort of the two, well, and early Leviathan as well, but those are sort of the big bosses on the card. But if you know sort of, because the way Stalker worked is that once you hit it, you basically play whack-a-mole. Unless it's asleep. But if you just use Dark Shock, there's no counter to it. And so you don't have to do any damage to Stalker, and it essentially becomes a free fight, because you're probably not going to miss Dark Shocks.
I think I just saw someone pick up level 2 old as well. Must have been, I'm guessing it was Seawolf in the Erie Valley.
Yeah.
So that's more Death by Math possibilities. Hey, goblins are on the card. We're starting off with a pretty easy bingo beginning.
Yeah, this is our final boss of the game, Neo X Def.
In a way, that is right. The Neo X Def is removed from the pool, replaced with these goblins, and then shuffled into some random location. Turns out it was Wind Shrine, the very start. So the final boss is, in a way, here, right at the first check.
So I like the play that Seawolf is doing. I actually don't remember if he picked up Deathclaw. If he did pick up Deathclaw, if the boss he finds at the top of Erie Valley is not heavy, then that is going to be pretty much, 20 levels off the bat.
I do like that play as well.
We do get a trench page from the top of Wind Shrine. Not even checking. That is a bold move. Even if you are not comfortable with what you have to kill the boss, it is certainly worthwhile to check the boss.
Yeah, I like the information. Even if I can't get the kill, then I know how to prepare when I go back. make it an easy fight. When you're ready for it, you can just go back at any time. But, that's all right. Some people just want out after they get the loot.
And again, we're going with the sort of standard here. Monk is not even dipping in the World 2, probably because we don't have that tablet. As is taking his boat to Torna Canal. And Marigine, so that is a second
perfect.
Boss on our square. Or
perfect for emission is all I was saying, because we can burn things with fire again. And yeah, she's on the list, she's on the card. And I wanted to point out that bingo colors are purple and orange, not blue and red, but they're close. It makes sense.
It's purple could possibly be a mix, but and Moogle suit. That might be worth taking a World 2 trip rather soon.
Oh yeah, that lets you pick up some strong things. That helps you kill bosses faster, so you can do more checks, so you can win. So I would definitely go right to the Moogle Village after finishing up the ship graveyard here.
Yeah, for those of you who are not familiar, the Moogle suit in this Hero song as well. And the randomizer gives you access to 7 chests of tier 9 items, which is the highest tier in the game. And so you're generally going to find some pretty game-breaking jobs or magics or summons there.
Yeah, I'm expecting Moogle suit items plus whatever is in sealed from getting the first tablet will set up our runners quite nicely.
If they are not already set up.
You don't actually have to sleep in the ship graveyard because you're given full health after the canal fight, so that's a little bit of extra time they take in there by Arch, but it's one of those things that if you never checked your menu, you might think that your stats and everything are the same as before, but because of the vanilla drifting around that you do in the canal, it's baked into the randomizer as well, so you have everything full there for the next fight.
Esper pointing out in chat, this is 10 minutes in and we're already at endgame. The thing is, there is no endgame. The endgame is defeat the bosses on the board. There's no Neo X Def. In fact, we've already killed Neo X Def. So
the endgame is when your whole board is completely full, blackout, or in this case, purple or orange out, bingo. And it's going to be probably really hard maybe to find that final square.
Oh, Z-Man, how long did it take for us to get our first bingo yesterday? Like 2 hours. And here we have our third square that are all in a line.
Wow. Yeah, good luck so far.
And the Elder Branch. That's at minimum 3 boss checks. Right, because the Moor Forest is required to go in the Fork Tower. So Fork Tower has 2 bosses, Moor Forest has 1, and then whatever key items you get out of it. This is actually Blackout.
Moogle suit. Providing Guild Toss, summon 5, I think.
Yep. And a whole bunch of money for your Guild Toss shenanigans, especially because you already have Mix.
Those rings were not the greatest, but you might hang on to maybe the flame ring just in case for a little while until you feel comfortable not having it anymore. Oh, and also a coral ring. Wow.
Which you absolutely keep because you have to defeat Leviathan.
Yeah, you keep that until you've beaten Leviathan at least, and then you're probably okay. Just in case he's in a really nasty spot and you need that auto heal from his tidal waves.
I mean, yeah, so you can sell the guard ring, and then you can Guild Toss pretty much every World 1 boss.
Yeah, and it won't even cost that much because you're still fairly low level and doing lots of damage with the Guild Toss.
Low level until you come here to Waltz Meteor, and then hopefully it's not Antlion or Odin or another boss that doesn't give any experience. Yes, there are 50 randomized bosses, and we have found 4 out of 4 so far.
Surprise! It's another Fire Week boss. Although you
At the
don't
same
have
time,
to kill him with fire, you could do other things too.
we have Deathclaw.
Exactly,
You can
yeah.
just use Deathclaw here.
Okay, Arch is going with a mission. 1,500 hit points here, so like 3 emissions should do it.
So the thing about Deathclaw here that's really nice is it gives Petrify on Biblos, which means you don't get the dialogue at the end of it.
Yeah, you mean paralyzed, but yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He gets stuck. Which is very nice. There we go. The
nope.
drains. He got a drain in, so we're gonna have to get one more. I think he's saved himself with that drain. He was gonna die, but the counter drain saved him. There we go.
And now we get to hear about the Master still living.
Yes, the strange, mysterious death quote.
Yeah, we'll see when Seawolf gets there if he realizes that Deathclaw A works and B will save quite a bit of time just because you don't have to see that dialogue at the end.
So that's another spot on the board for Arch. We've been really well with our bingo luck so far.
And Falls Page.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to see. I want to see as many things open as soon as we get to World 3. And we know we're going to get the Mirage Raider in a non-chained spot because both Battle Castle spots are not chained.
Alright, it's time for some shopping. Arch has gone to Karnak, picking up some scrolls, picking up some chemist mix ingredients like the Revivify is really important.
That shop had both Revivifies and Antidotes. That is my type of shop.
Yeah, great shop. That's you'll probably be using that combination more than any other mix. Plus 10 levels.
For those of you unfamiliar with the mix table in this game, Revivifies plus Antidotes raises the level temporarily by 10. So this means you will be doing a lot more damage or throwing a lot more money for Guild Toss, and it also enables basically a surefire way to kill most bosses with math. So it's one of the, I would say, if not the most important mix to know, it is definitely one of the few that if you are interested in learning the randomizer, it's one of those ones you should know.
Yeah, the randomizer put the chemist job at a relatively low tier to sort of help people out to get going early on, I think, and just have mix, because without it, sometimes things can get a little bit difficult if you get a little unlucky.
Wonder if that bard was just being like, I've seen Bahamut in terrible places. I want to have this.
Oh yeah, I think when I play this flag set, I will still be buying, the things that I usually buy, even if they're not necessarily required for any of the bosses on the board. It could still be locked, access to those bosses could still be locked behind a boss that you need, something like Love Song 4 or whatever.
Hello, Aegis Shields.
Wow, did he buy 3 or 4?
He bought 3 because he didn't have money to buy 4, so now he bought 4. Aegis Shield, I would argue, is the best shield in the game, barring very
There's
specific
your Love Song
situations.
too.
And your song to kill triplets when you find it. The Requiem song.
I'm not sure if Requiem was bought, but if I have the money, I like to try and buy it, even though it's kind of niche use. Oh, and he did. Okay.
Yep. And we see Antlion, which is also a square.
Oh,
that was at Battle Castle. No XP there, so I think he's gonna go to Walt's Meteor. But like I said, we've seen 5 bosses, and all 5 of them have been squares on this board. Seawolf rolled the bingo board, and Archfield randomly did a random command in the race time. So it was a co-op generation.
Yeah, having both Bard and Mix, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. You can do both together, you can do one or the other, whichever floats your boat, and it's nice to have options. So,
And A Panda is the first boss that we've seen that is not on this board. So the streak ends.
but the streak of using a mission continues. Another Fire Week boss.
This one you cannot Deathclaw.
Yeah, this is the other version of the demon monster, I guess we'll call it.
This is a good place to find A Panda, though. Certainly better to see here than in other later locations.
I like how you say a panda because it's like amoral. It's like the opposite of moral and the opposite of a panda. Or the antithesis of a panda. It's a weird, obscure monster name that it's supposed to be like Greek for complete collection or something, considering that he's like a library monster. But it's definitely sort of a joke that people make about the game, saying, "No, not a panda. I don't want to kill off a cute little panda." Okay, Seawolf and Archfield have both killed a panda.
Yep, around the same time. Monk having the Falls page and the Adamantite, which we know is technically Path to the Void. That is important because we only have access to World 1 and World 2, mainly due to a game-breaking glitch involving X Definite Castle in open world. So it is almost certainly going to be required to beat X Definite Castle, and so you're looking for the anti-barrier and the bracelet both to access World 3. If you're incredibly lucky with how the seed rolls, it's actually possible to not need to access World 3 at all, because there are enough bosses in World 1 and World 2. If that happens, then, you know, good for them. I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, the Adamantite opens up 2 checks at least, so we'll see if we get any hints checked or if we just end up checking those spots by, you know, just the need to check everything anyway.
That was a brief break in fighting a boss that did not contain a square. We're back to our regularly scheduled, let's fill out the bingo as much as possible. You will eventually shoot Odin in this spot.
Yeah, his magic evade is quite low.
It's probably about 40 or so, I would guess. Something like that.
This spot is Karnak Meteor. Okay, yeah, I think it's even lower than that. I think Arch just got unlucky. If I was him, I would have kept at it. But I guess he'll come back later. It's fun to shout Odin if you have the ability to, because sometimes he's a real pain in the butt and won't let you do that to him at all.
Odin can cause a lot of issues if you do not have Breakblade. If you see him deep in the void, True Edge will probably, if not just wipe your party, will make it very difficult, and the only instant kills in that spot are to use Breakblade.
Yeah, but you find him early, he should, and you have Shoat, you should be in good shape. That was, like I said, probably just bad luck that Arch got, and I think he'll go back and get him pretty easily next time. In fact, Seawolf is about to go. Not positive if he also picked up Shoat, though.
Yeah, Odin has... This is a blackout, so they have to have all 25 bosses cleared. So Breakblade, Odin, after, in terms of rank difficulties, after his vanilla spot, his magic evade is over 100. And so it's not possible to hit him with spells like Shout or Break Black Magic. You have to use Breakblade.
Yeah, later on. If you get him early like this, and if you have Shoat, you have a good chance of it actually working. So it looks like Seawolf does not have show, at least not on any of the characters that I saw. So he's going to be doing other things. Odin is susceptible to a couple other statuses like sleep and paralysis, but I don't think we really have the ability to do any of those.
But this spot isn't terribly difficult.
Yeah, the Reaper's sword, even though it looks kind of nasty because it kills someone off, it's actually way better than getting the true edge attack, which would wipe the entire party. Odin Love Song? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he can be stopped. He can be slowed. Definitely, but not stopped. I don't think. Oh, so Seawolf is going for Sleep Spellblade, so this could just completely nullify Odin, and then you can just use magic to not wake him up. Okay, finished him off before it was even needed. So Seawolf gets...
It's close and Stealth Rope. Alright.
Okay, nothing special there.
But he gets a square.
That's right, and that is, the silver lining, I guess. No key item, but you get a square.
You had to do it anyways.
Arch knows, as he looks at the board now, that Seawolf was able to beat Odin where he failed, so he'll be going back there and doing it pretty soon, I'm sure.
I am just internally ranting about the fact that this is squared. Number 6 that we're going to see on the board, we've seen 7 so far.
Wow, that's amazing luck. It's almost like flipping a coin and getting heads like 6 or 7 times in a row.
At the same time, we are all perfectly aware, well, I am perfectly aware, I'm sure you're aware, that it only takes one boss to make all of this meaningless.
Absolutely, and there's an increasing chance that we're going to get a major drought later on as well, because we've gotten a bunch of bosses early. So then we're going to be doing a bunch of checks that are not required bosses late.
And unfortunately, we have not seen that square that says Defeat Necrophobia filled out yet. And what is the worst boss to have in Twintania's spot? Well, if you're not going to see Necro before then, there. Necro is the answer. Anywhere in the void, Necro is the answer.
Yeah, he's the worst for sure in the void. Let's see. Carl Boss and back to Antlion.
Yeah, only 2,000 HP here. Do whatever you like. Carl Boss is not going to pose a problem. Although it would be faster if he had L5 Doom, because he is level 5.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a rod break, but you don't want to waste too many rods.
Yeah,
not sure how many we have in inventory.
This spot is not troublesome enough to warrant using that. And we get the Mirage Raider from not the Odin spot, but from the Abductor spot.
Now, that was a spot that...
There's Dark Shock, so you don't have to farm it from the Black Flames.
Very nice. I feel like maybe it's time to hit the library and get level 5 Doom.
And here you call for Seawolf. Yeah.
Right? Lots of things are open for us to check.
And Black level 4, so you now have another source of break if you don't feel like using Shout.
Well, I think I missed what the hint was at Bow Castle. Did you happen to see that?
No.
Okay.
Which was funny because I was... Okay, there's Necro at Lanka Meteor. This is a perfectly fine place to see Necro.
Yeah, not bad. Alchorake cannot be reflected, so we've been relying a bit on that. You could do some of that. And then any elemental stuff for Necro himself once the barriers are gone.
And it's another square. And it's probably the square that was probably worrying both of our runners from the get-go.
Yeah, this is a huge relief to see Necro so early.
And so we have the Brave Blade Chicken Knife check coming up for Monk. You can only take one. And so if you don't like what you get from the first, you reset and check the second one.
The Angel Suit is for the Chemist only, and it does give you the best magic evade of any piece of gear in the game, but it's really just not... It's just a little bit too niche to really be worth keeping. Thank you. I think you take the other thing.
Yeah, I just... There would be so few items that would be worse off than the Angel Suit, honestly. at that spot, which is a tier 6 spot, it would be rare to get something worse.
Yeah, the other thing's probably going to be better. Yeah, Aqua Rake is non-elemental, but we've got some other elemental attacks that we can use instead. But yeah, the weird thing about water in this game is that it is an element, but certain things like Aqua Rake they do 8 times damage versus desert type enemies instead of doing water element damage, and water is by far the funkiest of the elements in Final Fantasy V.
We are seeing that Necro, once you get the barriers down, does hit rather hard, and hits twice per turn.
Yes, and we need to get up in the air or something maybe to finish him, or what are we going to go for? More elemental stuff. The Chemist's magic stat isn't very high, so this emission is not going to be super strong, but maybe we can make it.
So to answer a question in chat, this is a full game rando. The bosses are randomized, the key item locations are randomized, and the goal in a standard seed would be to collect the 4 tablets, go into the void, and beat Neo X-Def. But in this setting, it is to find and defeat the 25 bosses on the bingo board. Items and chests are also randomized, the shops are randomized, and so almost anything can be anywhere with, some tiering going on with the items. Just a gold armor for Seawolf, but getting that Necro square was certainly the main thing.
For sure. You're happy regardless of what you get, that you just beat that boss and got that tile on your bingo board, and now you can move on and not worry about Necro anymore. Arch bought some more ice rods to break in one of the towns, and is going after Odin. This is second try, I think, for Arch against Odin.
And Apocalypse
has got him.
Do you try to learn any blue mage from Apocalypse while he is sitting here at a 12,000 HP spot?
Or do you reset out, quickly learn Exploder from a random bomb? If you know where they are on the overworld, then you come back and Exploder him to death.
Yeah, that would be the fastest way to do it.
And there is a reset. Seawolf might be doing something like that, or maybe he wants to come back when he's got someone who's a multiple of level 2, because he had a chance to learn level 2 old there, although he might already have it. I think somebody, maybe both runners, already picked it up.
Yeah, so bombs are outside of Jakol. So
yeah, they're very close by, and you just have to use some magic on them, I think it is, and they will do Exploder on you.
I think it's also an HP. If you get them down low enough, they'll explode as well.
Probably so.
The Exploder is the traps in the steamship. I think if you use magic, particularly Thunder, Bolt, I think they use Exploder. Yeah, the motor traps. So Monk will see which boss was up here. It was, okay, not the Crayclaw boss. The wrong
crustacean. The red lobster instead of the yellow lobster, or whatever. The yellow crayfish.
So on the bingo board, because the colors are not matching, purple is Monk and Seawolf is orange-yellow.
So it sort of fits with their blue and red name backgrounds, but not quite.
Seawolf going back for the Antlion.
All right, and I think Arch has already defeated Antlion. We've seen that spot. So some of the racers are now sort of treading over the checks that the other one already did at the moment, but we're about to see another Necro fight.
And this is about what I would expect for this particular flag set, because you're going to clear the World 1 and 2 bosses before you really move on. Just because they're going to be the fastest boss fights available. What I am surprised about, I don't know if Monk has Guild Toss on anybody. But Guild Toss at this point will almost one-shot any boss that he's going to see in the next, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is a really quick killing method. Sometimes you get it and you want to save money and you don't use it for a while, and then you forget that you have it. So something like that might be going on.
A Guild Toss.
Oh, there it is. Well, there you go. Barrier's down. And now you gotta wait for Necro to speak before he's vulnerable, and then you can break that ice rod. And he's weak to all elements, so it's gonna be close to a one-shot. I don't think it's gonna be quite a one-shot of him, but maybe two rod breaks will do it.
It is 3,000 HP in the spot, so that looks like it barely did it. Or
it's actually a little over 3,000. I think it's like 3,500.
Okay,
yeah, 3,500.
Clearly I was wrong, because that was 3,200 off of X-Stuff and didn't kill it.
I look on my cheat sheet, it's actually 3,300, so he was only like less than 100 short.
Ah. Good to know. Thank you for the correction.
Oh, it was close. Almost got there.
So I am waiting for one of these two racers to start checking their levels and recognizing when someone has the ability to learn L5 Doom.
Arch has somebody, at least I saw at least one person at level 20. Everybody on Seawolf's team is level 19.
Well, everyone being at level 20 would be a problem. So.
Well, I see someone on Arch's team is level 19, so it is doable. Oh, sorry, 15. My bad. He doesn't want to go.
That would be a problem. Actually, I mean, one thing you could do is Dark Shock the Ferris, who's level 15, to get Ferris down to level 7. That's a valid strategy. If you
could also just kill off somebody for the next fight, and they'll be level 20 when you revive them. Everyone else will probably gain a level or something, so you'll just have the one person that you need to learn the spell with.
Yeah, I don't know how much either Monk or Seawolf are really gonna bother with Defi Math. I mean, I'm biased because that is my favorite way to kill things, especially in a mode like this where it just is incredibly quick to kill most bosses.
Yes. Equip swords. All right, so knight swords are available to us now if we want to swing hard. I was trying to look at the sort of team composition in each case. I think I saw Arch rolling with a dancer. No, maybe it's Seawolf that has the dancer. And Dragoon you also don't see a whole lot of either.
Lena is
interesting
dancing.
Choices.
Well, Lena is a dancer who is spamming Aqua Rake, which is fair.
Sure. Let's see. Soul Cannon level 36. You could do level 2 old, but it doesn't make that much difference. Yeah. Because we don't have the level 5 Dune to follow it up. But this might slow down the cannon even more. This is a... I think we're at... are we at North Mountain or are we in World 2 here?
I don't actually know. I thought for a second it would be the top of Hiryu Valley. But...
I think that takes a while to get there. I don't think that's where we are. Not sure, though.
I don't know. I guess that's sort of biased. Like, if this is on top of, like, North Mountain, I don't know if L2 Old is really worth it.
Yeah,
And
and the boss would be dead already if it was, so it's not there. It's I guess it is Hiryu Valley.
we have Archeoavis.
Well,
We
sort of a
have
slow and annoying fight, I would say, for this team.
1000 HP per phase. I will just flat out say if you had a Venom Rod right now, that would actually be perfect. You will probably be slightly under the 1000. Well, maybe not.
I like the gill tossing. I mean, you have to do it numerous times to beat this boss, but it just kind of ends things quickly. You have to be careful with your elements here. Whoops. Second phase absorbs ice. Third phase absorbs fire. Fourth phase I can't speak. Absorbs thunder. Unfortunately, that's...
Arch realizing, I guess, that this is the second phase, and so Archeavis is not heavy, and so if you wanted to Deathclaw, you have a good chance of hitting. So phases 2 and 4 are not heavy, and phase 5 is level 20. So there is some options there.
That was, again, unfortunate. Arch's Deathclaw missed. So I think that if it had hit, he would have continued. But because it missed, he probably was unsure where he was at in terms of what phase of the fight. So he's going to come back again later on that one.
Alternatively, again, it is only 10. It is only 1000 HP per phase, and so you could just whittle that down.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has got to be top of Hiryu Valley.
I would guess that Arch reset out of that fight because he wasted an Ice Rod and he wants to conserve resources, and maybe he wants to just get a little bit stronger before he comes back and finishes off that boss. Seawolf, though, has been doggedly pursuing Soul Cannon with these Aqua Rakes. You got to do like 11,500 damage to this boss, and he's doing it about 500 at a time. So it's going to take a while, and he's potentially in danger of running out of MP, but he used the fusion strat, which actually refills your MP at the cost of basically suiciding. So now Lena has full MP, and she can continue with more Aqua Rakes. This is a rough one. Yes, 11,500 hit points at Drakenvale. Yep. That's why it's taking Seawolf so long, because this is a fairly high hit point spot for, fairly early in the game still.
Is one of the more... Ooh, that was wall. One of my favorite sort of niche uses of blue magic is that if you have 2 blue users, you essentially have free elixirs for the entire seed.
Yeah, Fusion is a underrated and very useful spell. You don't really want to have to use it, but if you need it, you have it in a pinch. It's really cheap. Just buy it when you see it, and it could end up serving you well. Seawolf is doing it this way because I doubt he has anything stronger than Aqua Rake at the moment. I don't think he has rods to break like Arch does. So this is the strongest spell he has. If I was him and I saw this boss, I might reset out and come back later, but he has been stubborn about it and is trying to take out the boss on the first attempt.
It's one of those things you have to battle with when you're racing. This isn't a required boss on the board, first off, so you're not sure if this is actually going to pay off. The second thing is that you are spending a lot of time, and you can come back here later if you need to, with something that is significantly faster.
Yeah, I think that it is a little bit of a walk to get here, so you kind of don't want to come back later, but if you have no power, I think it would be the right move to reset out. But that's the call that the kind of calls that the racers have to make. Over on the other side, Arch is singing Hero Song, so all of his attacks here are going to do increasing damage as he goes, and in particular Gill Toss. I think this fight's going to be over pretty soon.
Yeah. Might actually be slightly. It might actually finish before Seawolf finishes Soul Cannon.
It's possible. Seawolf has been dealing with some surge beams and stuff, which take half your life and inflict HP leak, so you have to be extra careful if this fight drags out, which it rarely does. You usually don't see Soul Cannon lasting this long, but yeah, Archfield wins the race to beat that boss, even though he started much later.
And just a Guardian, so that is going to be very painful, I feel, when Seawolf finishes this.
Yeah, Seawolf is not going to be happy, but he did get the win. He got some experience, and now he can just move on and forget that it ever happened.
Go to library. You have 2 people at level 20.
That would be a great plan. There's a hint in the library. There's a boss check in the library if you feel like doing the double dip instead of the single dip library play.
Yeah, Z-Man and I were talking yesterday about whether or not you'd really even bother checking hints here. I think you do, actually, again, for the Baron hints. Because those are, like I said, those are, I think, the most important hints to get.
Yeah, I'm in favor of hints because I'm in favor of getting tablets early and potentially doing boss checks in the void faster than outside of the void. But I don't know, that's limited. Oh, learned Exploder. Apocalypse learned it from us. Arch must have bought it though, right? I didn't see him learn it naturally.
Yeah, he must have either found it or bought it, because he still hasn't actually beat Ouroboros.
Anti-barrier
Actually, no, he
was
has.
at Flying Lonka.
Well, we knew that was Path to the Void.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, we are running out of checks that we can actually do in World 1 and World 2. It would not be terribly surprising if this ended up being a bracelet at the back here in the Earth Crystal.
That would be amazing to have both of those key items in the same spot. It's possible.
A white mage crystal at the Flying Locker Ruins.
You don't expect to see that. The tier of this loot tends to be very low.
Yeah, that is a feature of the fact that we're doing a 4-tier overflow right there. And then we actually see summon level 3. If we didn't have the Moogle suit already, summon level 3 is sort of one of the benchmarks that you want to find, because that gives you access to Golem, which is a physical wall, and Shoat, which is a automatic petrify. Time Mage Crystal as well.
Wow.
So Flying Locker Ruins is the place to be on the seed.
I did not expect this loot to be so good in here. Usually it's so bad, but the couple chests have really paid off.
And we see Seawolf going to the Moor Forest, which generally has good loot. Air Knife is nice.
Yeah, I actually was so surprised by the Lonka loot that I missed most of the Moor Forest loot. But it looks like Seawolf is going to save and then at least check the boss here and see if it's doable.
Yeah, their Flying Locker Ruins had a much better loot table than Moor Forest.
That is really strange to hear you say that. One of the few times you'll ever say that, but it can happen.
Air Knife is actually a very nice find, though. The main damage that you get from a Blue Mage would be Arrow 3, and there are a couple ways to learn it. So one of the things the randomizer doesn't do is randomize the random encounters that you get in an area. So if you know where to find certain blue magic abilities, you can turn on encounters. You get an encounter every step and learn what you want to learn.
Okay, well, we have everyone's friend Minotauros at the back of Lonka. Arch has reset out probably to re-gear his team so it's less magic-based. Because Minnow locks out all of your magic. You can't cast any spells.
And Wing Raptor. This is where you take that dark matter that you just won from Soul Cannon and mix a Death Potion.
Absolutely. I think that's what we're about to see.
So a Phoenix down and a dark matter. You absolutely should have one from Soul Cannon.
And that's over 31,000 hit points gone in one mix. So big time save there by Seawolf.
And it is a square on the bingo board.
Excellent.
Nothing at Moor Forest, though. But congratulations, you can now go to Fork Tower.
And that there's a good chance we will go there later in this seed. So, because it's 2 checks that are, in theory, if it goes well, kind of quick. The old image strats. One of my favorite plays against Minotauros is image everybody up.
It
and
is
attack him, and he can't hurt you.
It is the reason why I feel if you are playing Career Day, if you see image in a shop, it is something that you just buy on reflex. Even
the ability,
yes.
More so even than the spell, yeah. Because this is the ninja ability that they're using, Arch is using right now.
They can go to Fork Tower once again to World 3, because so the issue is that if you enter Fork Tower and you have Galuf or Gloof in your party, the game will actually just crash. And so in response to that, we make you go to Moor Forest to pick up Kara, or Kryl, before you are able to ascend Fork Tower.
Okay, Seawolf going after Archeoavis also seems to be having a little bit of trouble with the boss. Maybe doesn't have a whole lot of power. But, well, 2 Aqua Rakes per phase if you have to will work.
And you can tell when Archeoavis changes phases if you're looking at the ATB bar, because there is a break. Like, there's an extended pause like that that tells you have changed phases.
Okay, and Minotauros is going to hit us with Holy, but otherwise... Oh, we must have danced away his MP so he couldn't use Holy. I love it. Everyone lives.
And we get a ribbon, which, if we have dancers,
Nice.
is a... Well, I guess you're using a tiara right now, so if you wanted to sell it, it's 17.5 thousand. But you might want to just keep it.
Ooh, haste 2 and another ribbon from the crystal shards. So, yeah, money ribbon, or, once you get another sword dance item, you can wear that ribbon.
And blue ability, which is not terribly exciting in the seed.
I wouldn't be surprised if most of the characters already have learned the blue ability.
Yes, we are playing in the standard 4 times growth of EXP and job points, and so it is not a ridiculously long time to master jobs.
Rainbow dress and red shoes are also sword dance items like the tiara, and so if you just wear one of those things, you increase your sword dance chance to 50% instead of 25% without. So you can wear the ribbon and get a bunch of stats, and then you could wear, say, the dress and still get the maximum 50% sword dance chance.
The ideal dancer setup is to use ribbon as the headgear, a rainbow dress as the body, and then use running shoes as the accessory.
Yes, there's also the alternative. If you've got somebody who can haste the party, you go with the shoes, and you can wear a mirage vest, so that the dancer who tends to be squishy doesn't take damage from physical.
And Archeavis gives the steamship key.
Oh wow! Yeah, that was a tough one.
That is something you follow up immediately, not only because you get 2 bosses there, but the loot in Karnak Escape is very high tier. There are 3 monsters in a box that are tier 6 checks. And so you definitely want to do that early. You may, if you're very late in the siege, you may just decide not to loot at all. But in this case, you are definitely still looking for equipment. There is a decent chance you find something like a chicken knife, which is the most powerful knife in the game, in Karnak Escape.
That would be amazing if we saw that. Seawolf is doing a little bit of looting also in the steamship because, again, we have this boosted loot checks. So I don't expect him to do every single check, but a couple that are on the way, maybe. Okay, so do we think that Arch has Mix equipped as an ability on anyone for this Wing Raptor fight?
I mean, if he
sure.
doesn't, he might just immediately reset out.
Yeah, that would probably be the play, but I mean, we know he has a Dark Matter and a Phoenix down, so... other options would be to... Well, you could mix... You'd still need Mix in either way. Oh yeah, he's got it. Well done. First try.
I don't think you go into a fight at this point without Mix being on somebody.
Well, yeah, that would be a mistake that I would make. Maybe sometimes I save Mix for later, but it's good to have at almost all times.
And this is the greatest usage of Aqua Rake, 8 times weak for Sandworm.
One shot, yeah.
And does not trigger the counter.
Hey, Uichibo there, nice weapon, but no key item or anything.
We did see Hunter Crystal, I believe.
Although... Yeah, I saw it really early. I don't remember what town it was in, but it was for sale.
I did not know it triggered the counter in the Pixel remaster. My 4-job did not give me Blue Mage until after.
Pixel remaster is has a lot of little changes. If you're really familiar with like this version of the game, the Super Famicom, you'll notice a lot of little changes in Pixel remaster, and some of which I consider good, and some not so good.
Well, I know Omega is significantly easier in the Pixel remaster.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think he counters as much. But there's all kinds of little differences that maybe wouldn't make a difference to a lot of people, but to me, when I play, at some point I'd like to make some notes as to what all the differences are, but I don't even know if they're really done patching the game.
The Mirage Vest glitch, I assume, is not in Pixel Remaster. I never actually tried it. I assume it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not in there anymore. Arch has gone to the library. It's taking on Golem, and I don't think has the Bard available for Requiem, unfortunately, against these undead enemies, but it shouldn't be too bad.
Weak to fire, is heavy though, and you cannot break them, but you have a mission.
Well, you can break the Bone Dragon, and that's actually what Arch did. Just not the Zombie Dragon.
Yeah. Correct. Sorry. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, I was looking at the Zombie Dragon because that's what he was trying to instant kill.
Okay. Now we might want this golem here. So we have to be a little bit careful about what we do for our attacks. There you go. Jump on the zombie dragon and now he's gone. I see some level 25 people on Seawolf's team. He might be able to go to the library and get the level 5 Doom now. Another Yoichibo in the Karnak Escape.
Big bridge key from the library.
Alright.
This you can break.
Yes, this is going to be a quick kill probably against Ifrit, if Seawolf has petrification ready. Oh, no shout on Seawolf's spell list. He must have not picked it up.
Yeah, because we found it in a chest.
Yeah, I think so. And some good big bridge music. Enjoy. Shrine page at the Karnak Escape.
And a French vanilla abductor.
Yeah, he didn't travel too far. And he also gets turned to stone. Makes a good statue.
And the
Ooh.
bracelet.
Okay, well, I think we did get a hint saying that Big Bridge Key was important. So it certainly is important. And now we can go into Exodus Castle.
Do you do that before? So, I think I would actually take Kiryu over and do the boat check, and take that over here to Exodus Castle.
I probably would as well. There's no rush to go to Exodus Castle once you have it open. You know you're going to clear it, but you might as well clear easy things first and not have to backtrack too much. But
and more
either way
French
will work.
More French vanilla.
Aha! So Greg 2 and the Greg 1 location. Now this is. Well, we don't have level 5 Doom. You can level 2 old, Greg, but
yeah,
then
because it's level 28, so
yeah.
you can. I mean, this is what I did in my race, right? It was at the Carbuncle spot, L2 old to L5 Doom, and Greg does not actually even do a counter, so it doesn't go into sort of the buff phase. You don't get a dance; it's just instantly dead.
The only thing about Arch, though, is not having level 5 Doom. If you level 2 old Greg here, he gets some funky things happening with his magic power. I think it might even underflow, and so when he jumps, he does extra damage. So that could be a problem. You probably won't bother with level 2 old anything.
I mean, I will say straight out, the prime reason you should be getting L5 Doom from a book, if you don't randomly find it, is because at the top of this castle is X-Def. And
absolutely.
The fastest way, and by fastest I mean unless you have some superpower going on, you will save minutes by doing L2 old to L5 Doom.
Someone in chat asking what French vanilla means, and all we mean by that is a boss that is near or has some variation of what he is in vanilla. So Arch is in the Gilgamesh 1 location, which is the Exodus Castle basement, but the boss that is located there is Gilgamesh 2, who would normally be over at the Big Bridge. So it's like almost vanilla, but not quite vanilla, so that's why we call it French vanilla.
Yeah, in this case, it is. So Greg 1 is normally here, and the next boss after Greg 1 in vanilla is Greg 2. Right, and the same with the Abductor. You kill Greg 2, and then you fight Abductor. It's just, it's basically one spot removed by sort of the sequence.
Yeah, okay, so here's Greg 2 buffing up now. We didn't prevent him from doing so. It's gonna be
that was a nice
little difficult. Yeah, that was a 7,200 damage sword dance by Seawolf versus a 700 damage by Arch. Just a slight difference there.
11.5 thousand HP at this spot, so it will take a little bit of time. And of course you have that buff phase.
Lily asking about if we have a Judgment Staff. You can use that as an item to cast Dispel on Greg 2 and remove all of his buffs. We do have a White Mage, and I could have sworn that I saw the Dispel spell for sale somewhere, but I'm not sure if it was actually bought.
I would say if you don't have a real cheese strat, I'm pretty sure we had Mute Sword available as well, and you can cast Mute on Greg 2, and he will be unable to buff as well. But we got
Yeah,
through it.
that's a great strat as well. Got through.
And the
Ooh,
sub
big
key.
deal. That's a big deal because the submarine key opens many checks.
So,
And
yeah, Seawolf
we
is
may need
skipping
to do
some of the
those.
chests here, but I think he picked up Time Mage, so...
Yes. Did he pick up White Mage?
That looked like a White Mage to me in the menu.
Okay, yeah, it went by so fast I couldn't tell.
The cat ears on Kryl is a White Mage sprite, if I remember correctly.
Yes, the best White Mage sprite is Kitty White Mage. Just my opinion, but anyway. Okay, so Arch checking North Mountain. Just gonna do the first check rather than. So he will have to, well, may have to double dip North Mountain in World 3 as well. We'll see.
And we do have the Mirage Raider, so this is actually an interesting choice, I would say.
And
because
it's Go-Go.
you can definitely one hit kill this.
Yep.
I would
we roll
certainly
the dice
go for
on
it.
a dance or something?
I
sword dance?
would absolutely
or do we break
do
a
that.
rod, maybe? Break a rod is probably
yeah.
the sure thing, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this is an interesting decision because you have the Mirage Raider, so you know you can go to North Mountain in World 3.
Yeah, I probably would have saved this and done a double check in World 3 later, rather than doing a double dip, because it's a little less efficient in terms of time spent.
I think Monk has forgotten that he has rods, and this is only a 900 HP spot.
Dang, he's waiting it out. That's even slower, but in terms of our two racers, who's ahead and who's behind, I think they're pretty close at the moment. Like, I don't think this is necessarily going to be the difference in the race or anything like that. We'll see.
I think this is going to come down to who is going... I think all of these races this week is going to come down to who is going to have the faster kills in World 3.
Yeah.
The World 1 and 2 bosses...
Yes.
Yeah, the World 1 and 2 bosses everyone is going to defeat, and even if you have plus or minus 8 or 9 minutes, one bad boss in World 3 can easily take that. So it's really how good are you with your sort of quick kill strategies. What's your DPS like? And this is why I'm like internally angry that neither of these runners have L5 Doom.
Yeah, I feel like they need it before they go into Exodus Castle. Now, Seawolf did take your advice, which is to do the fleet check first before going in. So maybe there's still hope that he will go and learn L5 Doom before he goes in the castle. But I kind of suspect he's going to head over with the Hiryu to Exodus Castle after this.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think either of these runners are terribly comfortable with Death by Math. That is a catastrophe. That is not a bad place to find.
Yeah, he's on the he's on the bingo board, so good to see him. We can float. I could have sworn we had the float spell.
I don't know if he casts Earthshaker at this spot. He probably does.
He might have it deep in his script, like if you waste a lot of time, he might go to it. I think that is the case in some locations.
But if you do a couple of sword dances, that should be perfectly fine.
The Surge Beam. Okay,
the other thing you could always try to Dark Shock to L5 Doom. Of course, again, it requires L5 Doom. And
yeah, we're seeing all these wonderful Death by Math opportunities and not getting any of them. Oh, wow.
And we finally get a tablet on the top of North Mountain.
So in a way, Arch's early North Mountain check did pay off. Because now he can go to Sealed Castle and get more power.
Some decent sword dance luck coming from Seawolf. Shouldn't be too much longer for this catastrophe. Unfortunately, the dancer is petrified, and I don't know if there is a soft in his inventory.
Yeah, I don't see any softs.
So there is a judgment.
Finish the hard way. Oh no, Titan heals him with a strong Earthshaker. We're going backwards in the fight now.
Was that Running Shoes?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
And
I see
Leviathan.
Bahamut and Leviathan. Quick, Holy. Oh, Holy. And a White Mage. Worth getting.
We also did see a Judgment Staff.
Wow.
I would take Leviathan, and I would take those Running Shoes.
Definitely. Running Shoes on that White Mage with Holy against X-Death is going to be nice.
Still slower. Still slower.
Yeah, not as fast as Death by Math, but it is a way to get through that fight. And speaking of getting through fights, Seawolf did heal his Petrified Dancer, so he must have had maybe the heal spell?
Or maybe had a soft, it just didn't realize it.
Okay.
And Sandworm Bait.
Yeah. Can do that at any point. That's a nice, quick, easy check.
If this were triple bingo, this would be an interesting board right now.
Oh yeah, well I feel like maybe we should have done, instead of full blackout, we should have done like sextuple bingo or something.
Yeah, I had mentioned this in the Discord that I think a 5 or 6 line bingo would have been better for a single racer, and then a blackout bingo would be a very interesting format for a co-op.
Yeah, I agree. But this is the first time we've ever done a variety tournament, and people were busy testing other modes and things, and no one really got to this until recently. So, it's being tested as we play the tournament.
To answer a question in the chat, why Leviathan would be preferable, I assume this is over Bahamut, and that's simply because Bahamut takes a lot of MP to cast.
And the animation is slower, and you can mix up a boost for Leviathan that actually makes it stronger than Bahamut. Yeah, Leviathan's water element is strong against certain bosses as well that are weak to water. That's another good point, whereas Bahamut is always just straight non-elemental damage. Ooh, Cure 3. Nice pickup in the castle.
Very nice find.
We like to kill things before they kill us, but sometimes we need to heal too.
If you want to learn White Wind, this is the place you can learn it naturally. And that is why ArchfieldMonk saved. If you know where to look, you can find there's an encounter that has 3 magic dragons, and I believe the actual boss name is or the monster name is Arage, that casts White Wind. And so if you're looking for L2 Old and White Wind at the same time, it is very convenient, because magic dragons do not like to use L2 Old. And so having 3 of them on the screen does improve your odds. They also cast Arrow 3, which is a very nice spell to learn for a blue mage.
Yeah, and Guard Off, which you don't want to see because it's mostly useless. But what you were saying about level 2 Old is just that, yeah, you have like a 1/3 chance every 4th turn or something for them to use it, so you're sitting around waiting often for quite a while. And in fact, I've even had to give them an ether or something because they ran out of MP before they used it. Seawolf is doing the Sandworm Desert check.
You're gonna do it eventually, you might as well do it now.
Yep. Some other things that have been picked up that we haven't mentioned was Fire 3 Spellblade. Atmos is going to Comet, and, well, Lena's going to be resting, as she often does, for this fight.
Yeah, there is a meme in the FF5 Career Day community that Lena is basically always on the floor, dead. And there's Greg 3.
That's French Vanilla Greg again. This would be a wonderful Death by Math situation, or even just straight death spell, doom spell, I should say, but I don't think we have means to do either of those.
Yeah, Seawolf will get second dark matter here.
Oh, perfect.
So that would be nice for Seawolf. At the same time, yeah, so the Death by Math strat here is Dark Shock will get Greg 3 to level 15, which is divisible by 5, and then you just L5 Doom. And the Magic Evade for Greg 3 is low, so you have a very good chance of hitting it. Well, you're going into Library anyways. I believe you have someone who's divisible.
Yeah, sorry, Seawolf got the Ifrit's Fire, that's why he went in there.
Yeah, I was hoping he would have someone who is divisible by 5 at the same time.
So Arch has either Stalkers at the Carby spot or Greg 3, and so he's setting up, I think, to maybe put the Stalkers to sleep or something like that.
Yeah, that would be preferable in this spot because it is 32,000 HP. So unless you want to play a lot of whack-a-mole, sleep is definitely a valid strategy here, and then you just use magic and the Stalker will mostly remain in place.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be sleep and then holy bombs dropped on just one of the Stalkers, and it shouldn't take too long to finish him off, as long as we actually have sleep. I keep seeing summon ability, but I don't... We might have to play whack-a-mole, I'm not sure.
This is a blackout, so we have to beat all 25 bosses that are on the board.
So Arch is actually going to take on Exdeath now and come back to Exdeath Castle later to defeat Stalker, because I guess he doesn't have the right setup for it at the moment, so that's why it's all white mages, because we're going to get Golem up and then we're going to bomb Exdeath with holies instead.
Now, I like how all the white mages are in the back row, which is going to be perfect for what I'm sure is going to be a turn 2 Dynamo. Unless we get enough damage out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but...
Golem's up, so it's not that big.
To move them back once it happens, but...
No, and he might actually get enough damage that he put them into phase 2 before he gets that second attack, because you're doing 4,500 to Holy or 5,000.
The team is hasted, so yeah, possibly.
So this will be a very quick Exdeath fight. Oh, does get the Dynamo off. Again, Golem is up, and so the white mage being in the front row is not actually that much of an issue. Because the Golem will just absorb the physical attack, and there wasn't any stopping the magic attacks.
Yeah, and this is going to be over pretty soon anyway with these big holy bombs. Maybe just one more.
A little over 32,000 HP here. So, pretty quick. We get a Titan. Titan is now dead because of that sword dance.
And everyone survives the Earthshaker.
And Exdeath is down. And we get a Walls Tower key. So this is a chain, but it is a World 1 and World 2 chain. So, not too bad. I mean, both players would have done this before going to the Void anyways. And we're at the point where the only key item besides tablets that we haven't seen is the pyramid page. Huh.
Wow, that's amazing. Look at Seawolf's tracker. He's got all the key items except one. It's amazing.
And the tablets.
Oh yeah, the tablets of which he has none, which is very strange.
This would be a very interesting standard seed, but I have a feeling that, well, I think at this point, well, Walls Tower can either have a tablet, and if it doesn't, then, well, all the 3 tablets are in World 3.
So Arch is...
Or Barrier Tower we still haven't gone to.
Okay, yeah. Arch is in Mirage Village now because it's amazing shopping, and so what he's looking for is some things that are going to help for the fights that he skipped earlier, and then he'll probably go right back and do them. He skipped, let's see, which ones did he skip? Archeo Avis, he needs to go back, and then those 2 fights in Exeth Castle, which is Greg 3 and Stalker.
I honestly don't take X fight here, but that's just me. I would take
It costs a
either
lot,
Magic.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I would take either Mystic Knight or Magic Sword 5 because Breakblade will probably show up.
Yeah, I usually don't like to. I can't tell you the last time I actually bought X Fight. Like I've found it many times, or I've earned it by using Hunter. Oh look, level
This is
5
a
Doom
shot.
is in the shop. Okay, and some nice other level based spells. I love level 3 Flare too.
But did not take L3 Flare.
Well, not everybody really knows what bosses are divisible by 3 and uses it, so
If
that's
Monk
just sort of personal preference.
if Monk did not buy L5 Doom with that shop, would have had words with him afterwards.
We would have been very upset if he hadn't bought it.
We get the rare citizen going left and right rather than up and down.
So now, if Monk wants, he can Death by Math Stalker and Greg 3. I think he's got Dark Shock.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he ends up doing that. But that's 2 quick kills on those Exdeath Castle fights that he skipped before.
You might think about getting control if you are thinking about Dark Matters. Because you can control the prototypes at the in-world 1, and that will give you Dark Matters on the kill.
I assume you saw Control was for sale somewhere.
Yeah, it was in Mirage.
Okay. Usually it's available fairly early, I think, so that's a little surprising that you had to find it in Mirage.
Yep. Throw was also in Mirage, and I thought that was interesting as well.
Always a good ability, and yet at this point in the game, I don't know if it's worth buying.
So that very long chain ended up being required because Chimera Brain was on top of the tower.
Walls Tower or a different tower? I'm sorry.
Walls Tower.
Yeah, Walls Tower. Yeah. Excellent, and that was that's a required boss. Very good. It didn't give a key item or anything, did it?
I do not believe so. It had a golem. Thank you, Rom.
Thanks. Yeah, that's good. I think we just got Golem recently, so unfortunately not that helpful. But yeah, that's right, Lily. The gargoyles are level 3 flareable. I think both racers have already beat them. They were early on. Yes.
So one of the things we did get from Mirage was X-Zone. And we know where Time 6 is. So... And we have Time Mage, so it doesn't even matter at that point. But X-Zone is, I believe, the only way we currently have to actually instant kill non-heavy bosses.
Yeah, we have Deathclaw, which is almost an instant kill. But X-Zone is faxed to the void instantly if it hits.
I was saying earlier, the way that I would do Stalker would be to Death by Math, because you don't have to deal with any of the HP shenanigans. But neither player is going to be going for that, I assume.
Probably not.
Seawolf not going to the basement. And we'll eventually have to do that, because every boss in Exdeath Castle is a square.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he didn't go to the basement first, because it's on the way. Do you think that it might be faster? Because when you beat Exdeath in his castle, you get shot out right to the bottom. So it's like, technically, you only have to walk one way. It might be a little bit faster to do it last in this scenario.
Oh wait, no. Go-Go's at, Go-Go's at North Mountain. That's why I was missing that. You're right, yeah, he did do the basement. That's where he was. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't even know.
Both runners failing the roulette room.
That's unfortunate. Okay, Abductor goes down. Seawolf, no problem. Oh, sorry, that was just roulette fight. Quick one.
Now, if defeat Abductor is a square, and you get that Abductor counter, can we count that? The answer to this is no, by the way.
No, it's not. It's not the real boss Abductor. I think it might even have. Well, it certainly has different hit point properties, but it might even have different weaknesses and such.
Oh, see Monk starting this chain from the steamship.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we saw Seawolf do these clears, but you know, that's inevitable in this flag set. The racers are gonna go in different directions and then end up covering, you know, the same, doing the same checks that the other may have already done quite a while ago.
I'm actually surprised Monk didn't check the Bahamut spot when he was in Mirage.
Yeah, he could have gone directly to North Mountain, but
okay, so Monk did the boss checks in reverse. I thought the stalkers were in the Greg 4 spot, but it's at Carby's spot, so this isn't too bad.
Yeah, lower, a lot lower. In fact, only about half the hit points here, so it makes Stalker a lot nicer when it has less, when you have to do less damage to it.
I thought, for whatever reason, I have the number like 13,000 in my head, but maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's
I think it's
15,000.
15,000. Yeah, 15,000 at the Carbuncle spot. But then the Greg 4 spot is like over 30,000. Or I think it's 30,000 exactly.
Yep. No, there's no way to guarantee Sword Dance, but if you have one of the 3 Dancer items, it removes Tempting Tango with Sword Dance, and so your chances go up from 25% to 50%.
But when you have 50% Sword Dance, you will Sword Dance a heck of a lot. So if you're seeing lots of Sword Dances, that's because he's wearing that gear and doing great damage with it.
The worst item check is to Hero Song location, simply because that is a tier 4 item. At least a well is a higher tier. But the well requires catch, so...
Yeah, and it's takes a lot of time to play all those pianos if you don't need to.
And you need the Mirage Radar.
That's right. Okay, so...
Yeah, if you have a corner jar, then you only need to take that toad down to half HP rather than 1/8, which is actually significant because you're probably killing the toad.
Yeah, but then that guy still charges you money before he gives you the reward. I think he charges you 10,000.
10,000, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I bothered with that check.
The only time I bothered with that check was when it was a bingo square.
And that's why we have, you know, variety bingo, is to get players doing unorthodox things like that, because it's fun.
Oh man, my opponent for this week is in the chat. That means I can no longer talk about what I would be doing. Hey, there
it is, the chicken knife from Karnak Escape. So now Arch has a powerful dancer, maybe as powerful as Seawolf's dancer.
Yeah, I mean, Seawolf has a chicken knife on Lena right now.
The only thing I was not sure about was the sword dance item to wear.
I think he has a rainbow
50%, but yeah, he probably does.
I think he bought a rainbow shirt.
Well, there's that Venom Rod that you mentioned before, but Arcuavis has been defeated by both racers at this point, so might not see that being used very much.
People actually do piano strats in the race? No. No.
Only if it's a bingo race and the tile is required. There's actually a few different piano tiles
4, 6, and 8, I believe, are what is on the list currently.
That sounds right, yeah.
Whack-A-Mole is truly a fun game. We already saw the first version, which is sort of the baby version, which is Sandworm, and this is the upgraded version.
Yeah. Well, at least we got a sword dance, but unfortunately it was to the back row stalker, the only one that's in the back row. So it only did half damage, and it still isn't down yet.
At this point, do you take that chicken knife user and just start doing regular attacks? Because you're probably pretty close to killing Stalker?
Your odds are better.
About-
It is more consistent. You know, like 3/4 chance to do a good damage hit might be better than 50/50 high damage. You know what I would do is well, yeah, if you've got the basic knife from the beginning of the game, you can use Cryo to attack. And if it does 0 damage, Stalker does not change position.
But we
So then
got
you
through
can
Stalker.
help, find the real one that way. But yeah, Seawolf found it, so now it's just a matter of these pieces dying.
And now we also have the Odin spot check from Monk.
Interesting. Doing some World 3 checks. I mean, in a way, you could be as unorthodox as you want to be in terms of the checks that you do once you have enough things open and available. You might...
And there is the pyramid page.
Ooh, wow. That is huge. So now Seawolf has every single key item and no tablets. He completed the strangest achievement that I've never even heard of. He did it.
This is what I hope the races this week become, where you basically get into World 3 and the game goes, do things.
Yeah. Be random in the randomizer or whatever you want to do, because there's no hint anymore as to what bosses where. It's just bosses are available and you need to defeat them, so go and do it.
And there is triplets, definitely required. I believe there was a magic lamp in Sealed Castle, but I'm pretty certain that we did not choose it. But we do have a white mage, so Cure 3 is a strategy you can use.
Yeah, even throwing those Thunder Scrolls, yeah, that's a sort of slow way to get there. Let's see. I think this spot has about 17,000, so you divide that by 3, so almost 6,000 hit points each.
Cure 3 will probably be doing more than Leviathan, but I might be wrong on that. But we do see the Death Potion on Greg 3 for the instant kill, very nicely done by Seawolf.
That's a nice big time save for Seawolf. Ooh, Flame Ring coming in handy, healing up Cryle. I think this Leviathan might do it.
Yep.
Yes, okay. So, Leviathan works too because, I mean, the piggies don't absorb water, so...
And Odin.
Odin and a tablet, wow.
That Odin would have been useful for a certain fight that we just saw.
Getting Odin from the Odin spot, that's kind of vanilla reward.
With triplets being there, in which Odin would have been very nice.
Yeah, it would have been great to have Odin first, but Leviathan was good enough.
We take it. But we do have a double bingo on the board. Not that that means anything. But it has only been an hour 30, and I say only an hour 30 because interesting seeds.
Yeah, the fewer tiles there are, probably the harder it's going to be to get a tile and actually finish the board, unless you get just incredibly lucky.
So I will say, from a death by math perspective on the board, the biggest one that is remaining is Ramu, because you can death by math by using Dark Shock the L5 Doom. And Monk at least has L5 Doom and Dark Shock, so if he happens to be at, say, the Neo X Death spot, that is a quick kill. Of course, it is also non-heavy, so Odin will also work there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing too much death by math left that you really care too much about. I mean, Twin Tanya, there's multiple methods, but you can use L5 Doom for a guaranteed kill on that.
So the one boss that is on the board right now that could pose an issue is Leviathan.
Yes.
The other bosses all have instant kill options. Leviathan does not.
Yeah, in fact, they're all pretty easy, except Leviathan, who can be really nasty if he's in the void in a high hit point spot or something. I hope that our racers still have those coral rings that they found early on.
Absolutely. And we're going dance strats here, which when you get sword dances, it's not a problem. Of course, if I ask that question to Monk, he will reply with, "I did dance 17 times and got 0 sword dances."
Yeah, I think I was watching as he was trying, and it just wouldn't happen. Very unfortunate. I would say, though, in preparation for Leviathan, if you see Thunder Rods, people tend to think of rod breaking as like an early game strat, but it's totally worth breaking rods against Leviathan late game too. It does a lot of damage, and it doesn't count as magic, so it does not trigger the tidal wave counter.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see if... well, we know that we're going to have to fight Leviathan at some point. We just don't know where yet.
I am hoping for vanilla Leviathan at the bottom of the falls.
That would be a neat spot. 40,000 hit points there is pretty rough.
So I believe that, with the exception of Barrier Tower, Seawolf has done all the World 1 and World 2 checks, and North Mountain, which has a tablet. But I don't think he's going to go to North Mountain that isn't in World 3. I assume he's just going to go directly to Mirage right now. And then probably do those 2 spots.
Mirage is definitely the play for the amazing shopping. And then he might do the double check at North Mountain. That's probably the most efficient thing, even though it's a little bit scary to have to fight a 40,000 hit point boss.
So here's an interesting question that I'm not sure what the answer to. If you checked all 12 hints that are available right now, please pick L5 Doom. Would you know where all the tablets are? And so would you be able to start just face-checking bosses? Because we know where all the key items, or Seawolf knows where all the key items are besides tablets.
I think it depends on what the hints were.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You know,
I don't...
Yeah.
But we haven't been checking hints all that often in the seed.
Right. Well, I think what I would be interested in doing is... I don't know. I feel like I would want to get the 4 tablets before I did any face checking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was saying, like, you know what the path to the void is, because at some point you're going to know, and we're in such a rare situation where we had all the key items before we entered World 3. Like, to have the knowledge that you can start face-checking things, we know we can face-check things that are in the underwater areas. So things like what is at the bottom of Sunken Walls, or the trench, or falls, if it is not the boss if it's not one of the bosses we need to defeat, we can just reset out. Because we know it's not even a tablet.
I was actually thinking, I've never actually done this, maybe you have, Fiery, but have you ever, like, gone to a tablet area and then defeated taken a look at or even defeated the boss of the gate, but then warped out? I assume the gate is still open for you to go back later, right?
Yes, correct. You just need to defeat the Guardian boss once.
I think I've probably done it. So in a way, if you wanted, you could you could face check some tablet area bosses if you had, the key item. Like Seawolf has all the key items, so if he wanted to, he could just look at those and not run all the way through the area until later, just because checking the gates themselves is faster. But I don't know if it would end up being faster in the end. It's hard to say.
I would not do that. I would just run through it for the sunken areas, right? Because you're going to be face checking the last boss, right? Because you know it's not going to give you the tablet. The shrine and the pyramid, the pyramid in particular, you loot the pyramid probably. So you would run through all of that.
Yep.
Both players getting a first try sword dance on Titan. So
yeah, I think I would be a little more interested in the hints maybe than these two runners seem to be. Yeah, I don't know for sure if it would pay off for me to have all that hint info.
Yeah, you never know. But in this case, if you knew where all the tablets were, and just being able to face check bosses is so powerful.
Yes. Absolutely. Save a ton of time if you are in an area where there's just a single check and it's not a boss that's on the board, you can just leave.
Speaking of saving time, Monk decided to not kill Gogo and actually waited out this spot. So we will see. I know Seawolf queued the dance command. We'll see if that pays off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna go for it.
That's the sword dance.
Ooh, nice. Almost max damage. About 10 times more damage than necessary, but it feels good to one-shot Gogo. And now Seawolf finally has a tablet. He should be proud. He's gonna save though and take on the World 3 boss here, I hope.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking that Arch has had those running shoes for so much longer than Seawolf that might be helping him go faster.
And Megisa also required. This would be a French vanilla by location.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wouldn't sword dance here. I would X-Zone. Yeah.
She's not going to be able to resist that. She can get faxed.
Yeah, you don't want to do damage to Megisa if you don't have to, because you just don't want to see Forza. It's not that big of a problem, it's just a time waster.
Okay, there was nothing on top of North Mountain in the second spot other than a tiara and the X magic ability, which could be pretty darn nice.
So here is something interesting. If Monk is paying attention to the bingo board, he just saw defeat Gogo light up, and then defeat Megisa light up immediately after. And so, if he is paying attention, he should know Megisa is at the top of North Mountain.
Yep, that would be a very meta bingo play. So maybe we will see if Arch ends up going there next or not.
Well, he's probably not in a rush to go up there. But if he comes to the end of this and needs that one single square, he should know where it is.
Running shoes taken by Seawolf, or in a way, since Megisa's not required, maybe Arch will just completely fade North Mountain and never go there.
No, Megisa is required. It's a square.
Oh, my bad. Where is it? How come I can't see it?
Top right.
Oh, upper right. Okay, my bad.
That's why I'm saying that ArchfieldMonk would know exactly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That would be the play then. I was looking at... Yeah, somehow I missed the upper right-hand corner.
It's because there have been no squares that have been done there. Their tower was a womp. It was Greg 1, so at least it was quick. But led to a forged sword.
So, despite Seawolf having no tablets until just recently, He does technically have the bingo lead in terms of number of bingo tiles. He's ahead by 2 on that.
Yep, and he'll do. I assume we'll maybe not do the tool pass and Odin check first. That's fine. Realistically, with the way the key items worked out here, I expect both racers to fully clear the overworld before going into the void. Especially with the way the tablets have worked out.
Right, we're not even close to getting all 4 tablets yet, so it's gonna be mostly... Overworld is gonna be mostly cleared by the time we get them all, I think.
So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Final Fantasy V and the way the Career Day randomizer works, in the vanilla game you need to get 1 tablet, the Pyramid, by the vanilla story. In Career Day, you need all 4 tablets to go through the void. The first tablet unlocks the first boss, which is the vanilla Callow spot. The second tablet unlocks a panda. The third tablet unlocks 2 bosses, where Apocalypse and Catastrophe are, and the fourth tablet unlocks 4 bosses, the Howley spot, the Twintania spot, the Necro spot, and the X-Steph spot. And so, there is a risk going into the void in this situation where you don't have the ability to go through the entire void, because you are leaving... if you had 3 tablets, you're leaving 50% of the bosses behind, and you also would have to walk all the way through the void again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I would like to dip into the void early, but it just doesn't really work out in your favor unless you have all the tablets. So if you got them early, then you would want to go in early and hopefully get all the way through to the final save point, which is a warp point, and then you can do all the boss checks in the void and then pop out.
And Monk not doing a death potion strat here, so we see Enkidu. So to answer the question in chat, there are no key items in the void. The way the settings are worked, there's unfortunately no setting out there on Career Day that put key items in the void. I would like to see that in the future. But you will not get any key items in the void currently, and so you won't get any progression. It's just a boss rush to the final boss.
Maybe sometime down the line, since you're not the only one that would enjoy seeing key items in the void under certain settings, that might become, a new flag set or something in the future. So we'll see.
The developers, Cleartonic, I know, has been doing a bunch of, has been developing a couple of randomizers, and Carulius are the 2 main developers for this randomizer.
Yeah, we try not to bug them too much. They're very busy with other things, but certainly they've been very supportive of this whole racing scene and stuff since the start.
I definitely have to give them credit. They are also the makers of Project Demi, which is the Final Fantasy V mod that is sort of the base of the randomizer.
Yeah, that's sort of like the cutscene skip version of the game for people who can't be bothered to watch all of the... There's quite a few cutscenes in vanilla.
There are cutscenes that I've completely forgotten about until I did the Pixel remaster. It's like, oh yeah, that exists.
So much of the speed run even is spent just sitting in cutscenes, and especially in World 1.
We see stalker fights. See how long this takes. Seawolf, while getting good sword dance luck, did not have good luck playing whack-a-mole.
But Seawolf is doing a lot of pyramid looting, getting some really nice stuff in here. So he's going to have lots of power for taking on these last 7 bosses that he needs to find, and it'll probably be more than 7 that he has to defeat before he's done.
At this point, I'm just going to assume that there is a tablet at Fork Tower, even though that's honestly not that. I mean, I guess it's somewhat likely at this point, but I just would like to assume that Fork Tower is Path to the Void.
I mean, that's something that the hints might be helpful to let us know about, but I haven't really seen all that much hint checking, so
Yeah.
I really don't have any idea what might be at Fork Tower. Ooh, here's something new. Omniscient at the top of the pyramid.
Alright, you have a White Mage. Does the White Mage have Dispel? And we also get through the Stalker fight quite a bit faster on Monk's side. So, Omniscient, if you're not familiar, is what we call a Rug Mage. Physical attacks will cause a reset on the fight unless you Berserk Omniscient. So, only magic.
And we do have Dispel, so that means his shell, his regen, and his armor status are all gone, and he will go down much faster now.
Mute Sword is a good way to ensure being able to do physical damage because the Mute Sword takes a while for it to dissipate. The Mute Spell, on the other hand, because Omniscient is heavy, means that spells are particularly fast to be removed.
Yeah, something about the Mute Spellblade makes it last a really long time, and it's much appreciated, especially in this fight.
And Monk going up to North Mountain, probably aware that Mikisa is up there, and so eventually we'll have to do it, so getting it out of the way.
Good play by ArchfieldMonk.
The other good thing about the other good thing about Mute Sword, and that was quad 9s on Omni, you don't see that every day, is that you don't get the flare ending. Nothing worth it here. Right. No square, no item.
Okay, well, it was a good loot. You can maybe even stop looting at this point. I feel like you've got a lot of power.
Yeah, I don't think
clearing
the pyramid anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expect Monk to also go to Pyramid pretty early too, just because of the loot. There is no reason to not do the Pyramid when you don't have a direction.
Seawolf is heading to the Odin spot, so we know that gives the second tablet, I believe.
Yep, and the Triplets fight.
Right, both are required things.
And the Odin summon.
I think does he already have it? No, maybe he doesn't have Odin already.
No, because it's at this spot.
Okay, but well, sometimes it can be
the actual
in 2
item,
places, but yeah. I don't think he already has it.
Will we
it was
see...
Arch that I saw just use Odin against Megisa.
Neither racer taking our friend Boko for a walk.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That is the fastest World 3 check. It's a little bit surprising that they wouldn't go to Tool Pass. But I'm sure it'll happen soon enough. Well, Liquid Flame, really easy. Oh, wow, unlucky with the Odin roll. That's a very unlikely situation. Now, you don't want the hand. Got the hand. You're gonna have to attack the hand.
So I think, so he did that with the Time Mage. I would have done X-Zone, because at least if you mix X-Zone, you don't get that phase change.
That's right. It just fails. It doesn't trigger anything. Well, beat him with damage with 9999 Sword Dance.
Monk saying you only have 10,000 HP. All the Shrine Guardians have 10,000 HP, and it looks like Monk is just going to defeat them. See if he remembers that you can just face check the end of Trench.
Yeah, he did not continue on through the shrine, which I found a little bit surprising, but he's probably thinking like what I was thinking before, which was maybe just check the gates, and Ramu is required, so this is paying off already.
And we saw some Cure 3 strats coming out from Seawolf. Needs a little bit more NP now.
Oh, it's probably looking for an ether or an elixir or something in the inventory. Or these triplets can be rough if you let them get in too many turns and if they choose some of their nastier spells.
Yep. So we will see if Monk does just face check Trench or leaves.
So we've had sort of a lead change in terms of number of bingo tiles. Monk is now ahead by 2, whereas I think Seawolf was ahead by 2 last time that I mentioned it.
Dance is sketchy here because triplets are undead, so any absorb effect is reversed.
Yeah, I have not been watching Seawolf's fight, but yeah, the lack of MP seems to be a problem. Maybe some MP was even stolen from doing a dance.
Yeah,
getting the
that
mystery waltz MP taken away. Yeah,
that or just didn't heal before this fight, which is
oof. Yeah, did he probably not use the save either? No, he's still outside the cave. There is a save inside Bal Castle.
It does take a while to get to, though. Or it does take a little bit of time.
I usually do it, because it's only like a couple rooms away from where you pop up.
You'd like to see Dragon Fangs for sale in a normal seed, because it is a faster level up. In this seed, it's not terribly important.
Yeah, I don't think I would bother buying those. They're kind of expensive, and there's some neat things you can do with them, but mostly it's the level stuff.
Yeah, I mean, with the bosses that we have, it would be nice, depending on your gear, to do something like Giant Strength. Of course, that requires an elixir, but
yeah, that is the problem. In the randomizer, elixirs are a lot harder to come by than in vanilla.
And yeah, Monk is just gonna face check this.
Okay, wise decision.
I hope. Guardians just... Or is he gonna just true edge this? You should know that this is not a... This will lead to nothing.
I guess you could give it a try unless you die or something and then not bother to go back after it.
So the Cure 3 AoE does not put them all into the critical phase.
Right, so you want to use Cure 3 individually on each of the piggies. Now he's doing that. And that puts them all down to single-digit HP. One of my favorite strategies, actually, is to do this to the piggies.
But yeah, this spot in particular, I mean, this is why I think hints are nice in this mode. Got the True Edge off, thankfully, before that front crystal decided to ruin everything.
Okay, and we knew that Arch was not going to get a reward from the trench. I guess, couldn't it have been a tablet?
No, because we knew it was no key item in underwater.
Oh, I forgot about that hint. We got that so long ago.
It was the first hint that we got. All the way in Tycoon Castle.
Yeah, and now he's going to another underwater area, the Sunken Walls Tower. But of course, this may have a boss that we want to defeat. If not, then you could again just reset right out. Oh wait, I'm sorry, this is Waterfall.
Seawolf on the other hand.
Still an underwater area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seawolf, on the other hand, is at Trench, and we will see if he remembers that the Trench cannot lead to a tablet.
We shall see, indeed.
Good spot for Bahamut. 10,000 HP. Could just wipe you because he decides to Mega Flare, but it turns out it shouldn't really be too much of a problem.
We're 1 hit point short here, you guys. Just hit him. There we go. 9,999 sword dance. One more point of health is all that Bahamut had left there. Okay, so Seawolf sees that Arch has already defeated Ramu, and now he's defeated Ramu. I think maybe that will trigger his mind to think about face checking, just face checking the boss.
How much do you metagame the bingo board at this point?
I think it would probably be a good idea to do so. You could potentially gain some information from your opponent. Sort of like you don't know too much until you start, doing checks yourself, but then as soon as you do, if you see a boss that has already popped up, then you do actually know some things. And both runners have defeated all of the same bingo tiles at this point, so they're after the last 6.
Yes, and we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bosses left in that we haven't seen in the overworld, I believe.
Okay.
Right, we have the Leviathan spot, we have the Stalker spot, we have 2 in Fort Teller, and we have Underwater Walls.
Have we done Tool Pass yet?
Oh, that's 6, yeah. We have not done Antlion.
Okay, so 6 there, 6 in the overworld, and then I think 7 in the void.
8 in the void.
Oh, yeah, if you count the Ned spot, which I guess we do have to count that, don't we?
Yes.
All right.
I like how we got Bow Castle as Path to the Void, and Bow Castle has the second tablet.
That happens sometimes, sort of the double down on the same hint.
Ninja Crystal, that's an interesting find late.
Yeah, that's very surprising to see there. I don't think we need to bother with Ninja at this point, but
No.
Nothing at the waterfall, though. Other than Siren, which was, of course, important, so I shouldn't say nothing. Just no key item or anything, but we're done with key items, so other than tablets.
So, if a tablet is not at Antlion, then a Fork has 1 tablet at minimum, and Shrine would have, well, at minimum.
So Arch is headed to the pyramid now. I think that's going to slow him down just because, well, if he bothers to loot, I think it's going to take him a while to get through the pyramid, and so I think this is a chance for Seawolf to maybe gain some ground. He's also fighting the Guardians, which we know is not really necessary, but, well, he's got a couple instant kill methods. It hopefully won't take him too long, and then he can just move on.
Yeah, that's certainly what we hope. Getting some interesting sword dance look. What you don't want to do is really dance these crystals, because then the crystals will get angry.
You're right.
Because one sword dance will take the crystals down to the point where they will start doing AoEs.
Yeah, this is a 40,000 hit point, so you're actually taking him down to 1 hit point. You'd be better off just attacking one if you sword dance them for max damage, and then
Or True Edge.
going for Odin afterwards. It's just that Odin isn't super reliable against them, and they're also immune to Holy, and lightning and fire too. So that's a wipe for Seawolf, but he doesn't have to try and redo this fight. Do you think he'll just leave?
I hope so. I hope he remembers the hint that we got all the way within the first minute of the game.
Yeah, I certainly forgot about that part, and it looks like he is going back after it. All I can say is that if you haven't practiced this flag set, good luck sort of figuring out the most efficient way to play it on the fly. It's not easy.
I mean, these
So I
are
don't
just
blame
built
these
to be
runners.
long seeds.
We're doing well. We've got 5 tiles, and we're only a little over 2 hours. This is going quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
a little quicker than I expected. I would say.
Yep, I would. A big portion of that is, honestly, I would consider, unless there just happens to be something really dumb in Fort Tower that's required, say, shoot into Leviathan, I would expect the full clear to be able to be done next 30 minutes or so. You can look at the board now, and we have a number of instant kill bosses left.
Very true. I think that the Void, other than Leviathan, doesn't look... Well, we don't know necessarily what will be there, but it probably won't be too bad. The Fork Tower is kind of time-consuming, though, and we'll probably go there first.
Yeah, like I said, if Antlion doesn't have anything, then we know that Fork Tower is required for at least a tablet.
Right. Okay, right. There's just not enough options left for it to be Aaron, because it's got 2 things, and we still need 2 tablets.
Yep. Because the only checks that we know that could possibly hold a key item right now is the back of Shrine and Fork.
Right, and now Seawolf is checking the toolpath spot for us, so we will find out about that real soon. Leviathan at Fork Tower has been brought up in chat by Francoise. That could be rough. We do have a coral ring, but we might not be wearing it going into the fight, so it might cause a quick reset or something.
And you're really hoping that the boss on the other side is not shit. Because it would... If you're not... Well, we have Aegis Shield, so maybe it won't be that bad.
And Ribbon also blocks the Demon Eye.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be... I think it's probably the worst pairing available, but it could be worse.
Yeah, it's doable.
There is a Timmy.
Oh, Timmy.
You have... Alright, you have Breaksword, but that actually doesn't work.
Spellblade is...
we'll do it.
Cool, yeah. Oh, could have...
At the same time...
Odin, too.
Yep. Ice 3
and
sword.
We can continue to lament the lack of Death by Math, where level 5 Doom would have killed him.
Very sad. The win condition for this race is to beat every boss that is on the bingo board. It is a blackout.
So as you can see, we're getting close.
Alright, Fork Tower is a tablet.
Okay, so there's nothing at Tool Pass.
It is at least 1 tablet. If Shrine is nothing, then we have 2 tablets at Fork Tower. The true dream of any racer.
Wow. Well, the thing is, though, if there's one thing at Fork Tower, you have to clear both anyway, so it doesn't really matter if there's one thing or 2 things there.
Yeah.
It's just... It's kind of cool to get 2 tablets out of Fork, because it is a scary place.
Let's see. At this point, I expect Seawolf to defeat whatever is down here, simply, even if it isn't a square, because I have a feeling he has forgotten the Baron underwater.
Yeah, I think so. I certainly forgot about it. But there's just hasn't... I don't think either racer has really even checked that many hints, so... In a way, if he wrote it down, he should refer to it. I have a feeling he didn't write it down.
Alright, Crakelaw. You can stone Crakelaw.
Yeah, and that is a required boss, so that is going to be another bingo tile. And Art is actually going to be ahead by 2.
So
now,
Shiva is a rough spot here, but we do see the third tablet at Shrine. The fastest way for beating Shiva would be death by meth, as these things normally are. Shiva is level 11 if you do a Dark Shock, which is almost certainly going to hit. And then L5 Doom, Shiva goes away, and then you can Odin the Commanders.
Yeah, the commanders are not heavy and they're susceptible to pretty much every status, so they're not too bad to deal with. But you can't Odin Shiva because she's heavy and she basically stops True Edge from happening, so that's sort of the Odin resistant boss, you might say.
We see Monk coming in here as well. I expect him, based on what he did in Trent, to also be fighting Shiva.
Right, we know that the smart play would be to just face check, but we'll see if he sticks around and does the entire fight or not. Gosh, even the commanders are beefy down here.
I mean, it's what, 48,000 HP, give or take a couple hundred?
Yeah, it's nearly 48,000. Yep.
The game did not want you to beat. This is the vanilla Go-Go spot. The game did not really want you to attack Go-Go and survive.
Right, that's the good explanation for why there's so many hit points. Is if you enrage Go-Go and he just starts spamming meteor after meteor after meteor on you until you're dead, well, that's kind of how the fight works, because you're supposed to engage with his gimmick. They didn't want anybody killing Go-Go just out of pure damage, so they gave him lots and lots of hit points.
That does not mean you can't do it. It just means the game did not want you to do it.
Yeah, that's right. It can be done if you're dedicated enough, but there's really not much point. Okay, so both racers doing a non-required high hit point fight right here, which is, this could be a chance for someone to gain some time. I would say that really the fastest thing to do would be to just nope out of this fight and go do something else.
It's like, I'm sitting here in the back of my mind, like, I'm pretty sure I read that correctly at the very beginning of the scene. I'm not making this up.
You're right. I remember it once you reminded me. There's no value at underwater areas.
Because, I mean, I remember talking about that in the beginning of the scene. So, Monk is purple and Seawolf is orange. Monk, I would say, certainly has the lead, has done... I mean, I think after this, he only has Fork left, whereas Seawolf has... or Antlion as well. Whereas Seawolf has Falls and Shrine. And Fork.
I'm a little concerned that maybe Monk has forgotten about the Tool Pass location. But he'll probably examine his tracker or think real hard and go there eventually.
Even if he forgets it, it's not important.
Right. Was that what boss was there? Do you remember?
Honestly, I just know it wasn't a square.
Okay, yeah. I wrote an X there, so yeah, it had nothing important.
It was Timmy.
Yes, okay, that makes sense. Ooh, the rarely seen resist ice mix used by Arch to survive, so the dancer can survive Shiva.
That is a mix that when it's applicable, I always have to look it up.
Same. Yeah, I don't recall what that mix even is off the top of my head. It's so rare that I use a resist mix.
Yep. So we know that going through both the shrine and the falls is required. There are bosses that we have to defeat, the Crayclaw and Siren. And so if you're not looting, honestly, Seawolf should catch up pretty quickly. And it's really going to come down to who is going to have a faster Fork Tower and who is going to have a faster Void up to whenever they finish.
Yep, the chances that that we don't have to go in the Void are now zero. It's required to go into the Void, so we'll be headed there, and it's just a question of how far into the Void we have to go before we can finish.
Seawolf continuing to loot. This is a particularly dangerous spot to loot because you have trap chests that do take a very long time.
You can Odin the machine head, but the invisible fight. Yeah, it's very slow. There's really no quick way to do it because it's kind of like Archfieldmonk. It has like 3 forms, and you have to kill all of them before the fight ends.
So can I just point out that getting regen off of the Sunken Waltz is very interesting.
Yeah, that is... Well, weird things happen, it seems, when we turn up the tiering beyond 315 to 420, as we do for the meme. We get some strange rewards in the late game sometimes. Okay, so Arch is headed to Tool Pass and is gonna fight Timmy down there.
Seawolf, you have break.
Seawolf is going hard on Dance. I mean, that is 9,999. Made pretty short work of the Odin spot there. Oh no, sorry, Shrine spot.
And got the 3rd tablet as a reward. I imagine he will go to Falls before going to Fork Tower.
Probably so.
Although, at this point, well, again, I don't think either player has remembered that hint. If they did, they would know Fork is required right now.
But you would still probably need to check the bosses, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would check them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're probably still going to go there before Fork Tower. Just a question of how long you spend there.
But we will see what bosses are at Fork Tower very soon. It would be very interesting if the first 4 bosses in the Void were the 4 that we are missing, and so Fork Tower would not be required this seed.
That would be like if you were a complete Fork Tower avoider, under no circumstances do you ever like to go there, then it would be a play that you could make to go into the Void with 3 tablets and hope. Hope
if
that all of the bosses are in there.
If that paid off, it would just be the all-time big brain play, just straight out.
Yeah, and if Fork Tower has nothing, it will be the all-time womp that you actually spent the time to go there to get nothing.
Well, you need.
I guess it's gonna give a tablet. It's gonna give a tablet, but you don't. Okay, yeah, you need that tablet probably to get into the back of the Void. Yeah, almost certainly you need the tablet. So the chances that Fork Tower is a womp is extremely small.
I mean, what you'd have to do, I mean, you can do the combinatorics, right? It's 4 choose 50. Someone who actually has a calculator can tell me what the odds are on 4 choose 50. But it's low. It is very, very low. I mean, what, 4 factorial over 4 factorial, 46 factorial? Yeah, no. it's probably not happening.
Yeah. Thank you for answering the question in the chat. The doors in the Void only care about you having the tablets. They don't care where the tablets were from. Do you have any bets on what bosses are on Ed Fork here that you would like to place?
I will go with Leviathan, following with what other bosses have we seen? I will actually say that there is going to be a double here: Leviathan to Iron Claw.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
I will
I'll
probably
just
be
go
wrong.
Shoat.
Greg 4.
Oh, okay. Greg 4.
This is
And
actually
I'm kind of, yeah.
this is a rude place to find Greg 4. Actually,
Yeah, he's really rude. Golem is great, but he's got status stuff too that you're gonna have to be healing, and so it could go kind of slowly.
you need 3. I mean, yeah. If 2, well, now we know we need at least 3 tablets. Because 2 tablets will only get you to 2 bosses.
Yeah, unless okay. So if Fork, yeah, now we know because Greg 4 is here that we're not gonna get 2 bosses that we need. So we need at least 3 tablets, probably
Dude.
more.
Please. You cannot X-Zone Siren. It's break. It's something that I often do as well. I confuse Siren with Megisa in terms of weaknesses, and I think that Siren is non-heavy and Megisa is breakable.
That's an easy mistake to make. Oh, the rarely seen undead form of Siren. Still breakable.
And you have Magic Sword, and you have Break Magic Sword. And you have the Break spell.
And she does not have much of a level or much of a magic resistance or anything, so this is a slow method here. Oh, SeaWolf finished it off. Okay. And as we knew, nothing. You get nothing there. Well, you had to beat her, so...
Unfortunately, we've already seen Necro, and so we will not get a 5-minute dialogue about the virtues of various things from Greg.
It's possible, though, we might see the X-Death dialogue, and Gilgamesh 4 could get banished by him.
Okay, well, SeaWolf is saying, I'm going into the void. This is...
All right, yeah. He's the never Fork Tower play. Let's see what happens.
Or he accidentally ran into the void because he didn't even save.
Oh,
so.
okay. Okay, that was just a... he was on his way to Fork Tower, maybe, and crossed over the hole. Yeah. Okay.
That's why in World 3 I go north, is because I can see myself doing that every time.
Yes. I like to go north from Mid Castle to get to Mirage, at least. Fork Tower, I know the way to the Fork Tower and to the Void sort of by heart, so I don't really run any risk of accidentally getting sucked in, but I could totally see how that could happen.
So my World 3 issue is actually navigating to the shrine. For whatever reason it is, I can just never find the shrine. I can land on top of Trench.
Yeah, you're very good at that. I've seen you do a couple almost perfect landings right on top of it. I think the island shrine is always a little bit further south than I expect it to be.
Yeah.
In World 3, but...
And we do get the X-Zone on Greg 4.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen unless... yeah, he's just going to let it happen at this point.
Alright, Gilgamesh, the omniscient spot has no magic grid. Really? Interesting.
Gilgamesh 4?
It looks like it's Gilgamesh 4. Huh.
Okay, well, that was the first tablet on the Minnow side of the Fork Tower.
Normally we get that tablet for free.
Yeah, that adds a little extra difficulty. Oh, Carbuncle. Well, you can instant kill, but he really hurts. Let's see what this spell damage is. Ooh, an Aegis block. Very nice. Do we have a summon? Yes, we've got summons ready. You just got to keep everybody alive until the weak
And that'll be good
form
then.
shows up.
So, yeah. Well, this is very... I probably should... Okay, it's because when I searched Gilgamesh, it reordered the spreadsheet. Which is weird. It has 64 magic evade in this spot, in that spot. And so, you could, if you wanted to, you could Dark Shock once and then L2 ult it. Right? It's level 53, it goes to 26.
Okay, so Arch just beat Carbuncle with Sword Dance damage, overpowering it rather than instant killing it, and nothing on the other side, but we had to complete all of Fork Tower to have that first tablet in our inventory, so that was a required fight.
But I was definitely wrong, and we saw 0 squares there, and so if this turns out to be the case, that the first 4 bosses in the Void are some combination of Galura, Twintania, Ironclaw, and Leviathan,
that would be incredible.
I mean, I'd just be amazed.
Yeah, not likely at all. In fact, we're probably going to have to go pretty deep into the Void. Searching for that last boss, you know?
Yeah, Twintania at the Ned spot would be interesting. You would want a couple white mages to cast Cure 3 because otherwise it will hurt, and we don't have Big Guard. But Leviathan will also get a lot of turns there, and might also get some tails in addition to tidal waving.
Yeah,
I believe
could be really rude. I think it's probably the nastiest boss to have at the very end.
There's Big Guard.
Well, that actually helps a lot against any fight that is difficult at this point. You can pretty much survive now.
So, I'm trying to remember if Leviathan can cast Snowstorm.
I don't think so, but I don't know if I've seen Leviathan that deep in the Void ever. I think it's just the tidal waves hit really hard.
Okay.
You know, a little bit harder as you go, and his physicals also can hit pretty hard.
So the thing that Seawolf is going to notice pretty quickly once Monk starts filling in squares is he's going to know that he is behind once he gets out of this Greg 4 fight. Because he knows that all the rest of the bosses are in the Void. And we had the Summoner Crystal. We've had Summoner 5 for a while. We also have Meteo and Sildra and Freelancer.
I gotta say, this Void loot is so good. Maybe we should have gone in here earlier just to do some looting.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. You can definitely make that argument.
Yep.
Void looting, or Void loot is incredibly high tier, and you only need a single tablet to loot the forest part.
Yep, and there's like 7 chests in the ruins before the forest, and I think, 4 chests in the forest? So 11 chests is quite a few for free high tier stuff.
1 tablet, but yeah. Because you need the tablet to enter the ruins.
Right. But I was just...
Look at that bone mail.
You don't like to see that, because it loves to auto-equip. Hopefully Arch is aware. Yes, there he goes. Gotta fix it over and over and over again.
If only there were a trash can in this game.
Yeah, that would be great.
Ooh, was that a Coral Ring on Lena, or did that naturally hit 2300? Ooh, my favorite. Shoot.
Carbuncle hits really hard, so maybe it...
Well, you're safe now, probably? Maybe not.
Yeah, probably.
So here is Shoat. If you have Aegis Shields on, not really too much of an issue. And considering Monk bought 4 Aegis Shields, I assume he does have Aegis Shields on. Mystic Cure... Oh, wait, really?
What's that?
I saw the Cure 2 go off, and then still the break.
X Magic, maybe?
I don't know.
Was used, I think. Oh, okay. The Cure 2 does not mean that. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Shoat, and I was confused. But
No,
when the Cure 2 goes off, you still have a little bit of time before Carbuncle changes back to his problematic form. So,
Okay.
in fact, in the old days, we used to wait for the Cure 2 and then do the insta-kill because that indicated that his reflect was down.
Alright. It's good to know.
Yeah,
A
so
little
you
bit
still have
slower, but yeah.
time, if you're slow, you still have time to get in right after the Cure 2, and it works.
We take down Shoat, so all 4 tablets were required. We did not have any, we did not have that option of rushing without going into fork.
Yes, so everything sort of is proceeding as expected. Nothing too crazy going on. We just gotta blaze through the void and try and, be the fastest boss killer in the void at this point.
So, who is going to be at a panda spot?
Well,
It's
I
not
haven't
Ironclaw.
been keeping... Oh, there's our Leviathan. Okay. Kind of good to see him here. Only 22,000 hit points, I think.
Yep.
And the other void
Might be
spots
24,
are...
but
Yeah, it's a... I want to say 22, but there's only one void spot that has less. The one that's 20,000 at Catastrophe.
Kello has less, but
You're right, yep, Callow beforehand has less too, that's right. But there's 27.9, there's like 33, and there's 50, and there's 65, so 22 isn't so bad.
and the Aegis Shield was doing some work there, doing the dodges.
Oh, dodged a tidal wave with it?
Yeah.
Very nice. I enjoy seeing that. Aegis is such a great shield.
So, yeah, you do quick here to a Meteo. With the amount of HP Leviathan has here, it's just get your damage out as quickly as you can.
Yeah, it's not X magic though. Quick it can draw a counter, so
Yep.
a little bit scary. This would actually be a good time to use Phoenix. Oh wait, Leviathan is immune to fire, so it would only bring somebody up and then potentially cause a counter. But anyway, Arch has gotten through. Lena is the one
Seawolf.
standing this time.
Seawolf is trying for the death by math here. Unfortunately, only has 1 blue mage. So this is going to be basically down to luck.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You also do not want to lose this fight because this is kind of a long walk into the void that you don't want to have to do again. So I hope that he's got some backup damage plans, like maybe he's wearing a ribbon or something, and so...
At the very least, the drain will make it so that the attacks from Shoat will not do that much damage.
Yeah, him being old is great because drain will miss more, and when it does hit, it'll do less damage, and everything will be weakened. So, if nothing else, level 2 is good, and then the blue mage can always just try and get lucky with level 5 deal.
So, you had Hiryu Plant here, and you had the first turn, and you had time available. X-Zone would have been really nice to see from Monk there. Because if you X-Zone the Hiryu Plant...
There you go.
works out.
Trim the hedges. All right, and now you've got
5 bosses
a
left.
save point, and you can... Yeah. We're getting real close here. There's just not much left to check.
Iron
wanna-
Claw would be a real lame finisher, I will say.
I would do level 5 Doom and save the animals. I think that would be my play. Pause the game right after level 5 Doom so that they never die. Or never flee either. They're just left in suspended animation as the victory occurs. So that was a Galura kill for Arch in the catastrophe spot. So he has a two boss lead, just being ahead in the void here.
And I am trying to remember what other 2 bosses we haven't seen are.
Oh gosh, good luck.
Yeah, it's not happening.
If I had my tracker out and was keeping track from the beginning, I could tell you, but I do not, because I didn't prep that ahead of time.
Alright, are we going to see Vanilla to finish the seed?
Wow, and Arch is just going for it because that was such an easy fight with Sergeant that there was no need to even go back and save.
I did this before. I did this in my race, right, where I was rushing and I didn't save, and then this boss existed.
Well, this has
French
got to put
vanilla.
the pressure on Seawolf. He looks over at his board and he sees 1 spot left. I think that Seawolf, after this Leviathan fight, might have to just YOLO.
50,000
Try
HP.
try and beat bosses as quickly as possible, maybe even without saving.
Yeah, 50,000 HP here, so not 65k. Holy will kill... Well, actually, Holy might... Well, no. Holy will kill your knight as well. This is actually, for as much as this fight is terrible, it is a safe fight, because Heli will not do AoEs.
Yeah, I
just
can't
might get
imagine
approved
anyone
frogs.
really dying to this fight. You just have to power through it with damage. And put up with some, frogs and maybe some dynamos and such.
However, the one thing you absolutely do not want to do against Heli is summon.
Yeah, unless you want to get that bingo square, which is to provoke his Halley's wrath. You get hit for 9,999 damage as a counter to you using summon against him.
So I can tell you from personal experience that Helic and Arceus at the Neo X-Dev fight is very, very angry and very, very fast. So if you want to see angry Heli, that's where you want to find him. Neo X-Dev is replaced with goblins. So you cannot find a random Neo X-Dev anywhere.
In fact, in this seed, at the very beginning, the Wind Shrine, the first check, had the goblins. So that was our defeat Ned or goblins tile. The very first check that both racers did. I don't know what the noise was that people are talking about in chat. It must be...
And, well, if you didn't even hear it, then then it would be from your mic.
Oh,
We apologize for that.
I'm sorry. It must have been me.
It sounded like a mic disconnect at some point. I don't know. But will Twintania be at the Neo Extra fight, or will it be at the Necro spot? If if anyone remembers what the other boss is. No, you actually, yeah, you absolutely save here because you're doing a 50-50, and if you're wrong, you just reset. Seawolf going back is an interesting play though, because you know you're behind.
Yeah, you've got to you got to make some kind of play to try and catch up. I think I would not save, even though it's obviously super risky. It's just that it's basically your only chance. You know your opponent's got big guard because they probably picked it up in the void because the looting has been so good. You're really not going to lose to Twintania because there's multiple instant kills that are basically guaranteed. So, yeah, you just gotta go for it.
The other fight that we haven't seen is T-Rex.
Okay, that sounds right. I can't remember seeing T-Rex.
So in actuality, if they were keeping track of that, then even saving after Howley is not really necessary, because if you see T-Rex...
Right, because it's just a quick... Yep. Yeah. Alright, so it's a full clear here. Every check to find half of the bosses.
I had to open up my tracker, and I was looking for the icons, and I'm like, which one haven't we seen? It's like, oh yeah, we haven't seen the Phoenix Down boss.
Very good.
So, the seed is ending the way any seed should end, and it's with the Neo XDev spot.
This spot will have, I think, 65,000, or maybe even 65,535 hit points. Either way, it's a lot, but I think we're totally ready for this, so it's going to be over real soon.
You want to throw a big guard.
Absolutely. There it is. And then you count. Maybe a heal. But Twintania has now acted twice. You want to wait for 5 turns. And then you can either do the cursor trick or look at ATB or even wait for the message, the warning message. And then you can do an instant kill, and it'll be over. Arch is doing the cursor trick. When that cursor falls off Twintania down into the menu, then it has changed forms and is vulnerable. Oh, we're not using Assassin Dagger. What? Come on, you've got so many instant kills. Use level 5 Doom. Okay, he's just making us sweat. Okay. That is
we've not seen L5 Doom from either player, and that makes me sad because we started with Blue Mage. But
it makes me sad as well, yeah.
That is GG to ArchfieldMonk with a race time of 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 44 seconds. Fully clearing the seed.
You know, there were so many early bosses that we got so many bingo tiles early. I was kind of hoping for it to be a quick one, but just the nature of Blackout, it's so unlikely that it's so lucky that there's like a handful of bosses that you don't have to fight before you get half done. If that makes any sense. I think I said that backwards, but I think you know what I mean.
You only need one boss to be in a terrible location.
Right, exactly. And you're probably not going to do the Ned spot until the very end. So Seawolf right on Arch's tail is not going to be too far behind here. Let's just watch him finish the seed as well. And then we'll get them both in to the race room and get their thoughts.
Yeah, the timers are captured from the individual stream. So it's Monk who hadn't stopped it.
Well, he stopped it now, but his actual time was like a 2:43. Oh,
2:41. 44.
Yes. 241.44. Thanks. Yes. So it's just forgot to hit the timer on his own screen, which isn't as important as the race time timer for the official first click. Okay, so Seawolf is waited for the message and is going to finish with an Odin True Edge, which is style points.
And that is GG for Seawolf with a 2 hour 43 minute and 50 seconds. Good game to both of our racers.
Wow, so really the difference was only a little over 2 minutes over the course of an entire seed. Very close.
Now, if either of our racers remembered that underwater areas were barren and they could have just noped out of the Shiva fight or the Guardians fight, that could have made the difference. But neither racer had an advantage there because they both forgot the first hint that they got in the game. So, other than that, that was pretty well run despite the lack of death by meth, which of course will make me sad. ArchfieldMonk did win by 2 minutes. And we will see if we can get them to join us for an interview. Yeah, for something that went that started very, very quickly, it went for the full seed. Working to get them into the call. And we are joined by ArchfieldMonk. Good game, Archfield.
Thank you.
So, how did you feel about how quickly those squares came in the beginning? What were your general thoughts on the seed?
To be honest, I don't remember very much. I think the big things that stick out to me were making the play on that loose tablet, and I was annoyed that I didn't get to quick kill Go-Go up there, but I really had to take a break at that point. So I actually just used it to step away, even though I thought I could just jump him once and take him out and save myself a couple minutes. And I was worried that it was going to come back to haunt me at the end. But getting that tablet and then having Holy so I could just blast X-Death and know I could skip the other bosses and come back to him later actually opened up things a lot for me, I felt like.
Yeah, I was surprised because you had the Mirage Raider at the time, and so I was expecting you to kill X-Death and then loop back around and do the full clear of North Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, in this flag set, I think it's very prudent to leave first North Mountain check and the first library check for later because you know you're probably going to come back and you don't have to double dip. But I thought, you know what, I'll just take a chance. If there's a tablet loose somewhere in one of these two, I can pick that up, maybe grab some stuff from Seal that's just going to, kind of amortize in my favor over the course of the seed.
You know, sometimes when you run into Go-Go, It's a relief because you do need to step away for a moment. So
I really
I'm
did.
glad that worked out for you.
Yeah, I was. It was great and then disappointing at the same time because I'm like, I can just take him here,
Mhm.
but also this is valuable, so I'll step away.
So I think between you and Seawolf, I have two main criticisms of how you guys played it. One, you started with Blue Mage and there was no death by math happening.
I knew I was gonna hear. I knew I was gonna hear it on that score.
Hey, I
but,
reduced many a boss to level 1 and just left them as they did nothing.
The other
Yeah, that
thing I
was
will
good
say,
against Shoat.
the other thing I will say is that the first hint that both of you actually checked in Tycoon Castle were underwater areas are barren.
Baron, yes, but also in a boss rush, Baron doesn't mean much.
Yes, but you could have
Right,
basically reset over the Shiva fight, which both took for you quite a bit of time,
in
and the
fairness,
Guardians.
if you're going to criticize that, then recognize that I didn't check any hints all seed, so I didn't even see that.
And I didn't have any tablets. I still was missing a tablet at the time, so it was definitely on a large.
I thought you both checked the Tycoon hint.
I checked the hint, but I wrote down. The funny thing was
ducked all
actually,
of 'em.
I know what happened. So on my list, I have my paper from last time still. My last race, underworlds were also barren. I crossed it out, but I was done with that race. So on my check sheet, it says underworld barren, but scratched off. So my
Oh,
past
no.
race is haunting me from this race.
I see. Yeah. So Art, you didn't check any hint the whole way, huh? I mean, I didn't really pay close attention to that. I just knew that not a lot of hints were checked in general.
No, I played, I think, 4 total practices of these, and all of them came down to the Necro spot or the TED spot. So
Wow.
I just really
Yeah.
didn't think it would be valuable. I think the odds are that that's going to happen. It's
Yeah,
just
my
going to
two-
be loaded in the void, and so it didn't really feel valuable to me. I'm just like, I'm going to plow through everything, and I'll be super strong when I get to the void. I don't have to worry about a boss that's going to, be a trouble.
Yeah, the main thing I did 2 practice seeds in between the seed at Z and Fire yesterday, watching that nightmare unfold on Discord. Just yeah, checks are. If you want to learn what a Moogle radar or Moogle suit is or radar is, get that like jump on, like do that first and get some power. Great. Otherwise, you're doing the whole seed basically.
Yeah, a lot of them do seem. It does seem like a lot of them are going to come out like that. But I do think that Fiery makes some good points. Like if you do check hints and you get some barren hints, then you can face check bosses and nope out of the ones. If you follow the logic, you can nope out of the ones that you don't need and save some time that way. And in the case of this race, it might have made a difference. But you also both weren't really dwelling on the hints
Nah.
hardly at all, so it didn't really matter in this case. Yeah, it
It
could
was-
have, but didn't.
This may be the first time that I have seen all key items available before entering World 3.
Yeah, Seawolf, you had a special achievement there where you got every single key item without getting a tablet.
Hey, Chivos, nice.
I've never seen that
Wow.
before. So you were without running shoes for a long time, which
Mhm.
probably helped Arch out quite a bit.
Definitely, yeah, it does. Probably. I thought I was doing pretty good. Like, I'm doing pretty good, making some good progress. And I found the triplets in own spot. I'm like, wait, Arch had triplets done for like a half hour. I was in World 3 already. So I knew, at that point, I knew I was way behind.
Yeah, but it came back nicely.
Yeah, I don't think there was any real point where either player was completely behind, because we kind of have this feeling that, again, it's going to come down to who clears all the overworld first, because you're probably doing that, and then Void is probably going to be required.
It's going to come down to, most of these fights come to who develops their all-kill party first. Like, I got bad luck on Necrophobe. I was kind of like, I forgot to tent before I went into the Meteor, and my primary source of damage was Gallop with the summon there. I figured, oh, you gotta get those things out, and he just ate the first shot, ate him. It's like, well, okay, now I have to do it without my main damage dealer. And yeah, just a few spots where you just like, you're prepared, but I had to grind down. Soul Cams are grind down. Shiva was a grind down. Like a few spots where if I had like a lightning ability or a thing, that'd have been 2 minutes, 3 minutes faster.
Absolutely. You both had to deal with sort of lack of power early on. And I think it was what was that boss that you had to use so many aqua rakes against?
That was
Seawolf?
the soul cannon. That was just I had no
Yeah,
lightning. I had
yeah.
no thing. It was wind. My dragoon's best thing is a wind spear. Like, well, I guess I'll
Yeah.
just cast Aqua Rake and keep fusing myself into my own party members to get an MP back up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
like-
use the fusion strats, which always cool to see.
Yeah, still in
To
green
have
strats.
infinite
just,
MP.
just keep throwing. Just keep throwing people at Gallif as he had the hairpin. I'm like, here, Gallif, eat Lena. Here, eat parts.
I like that the seed opened up with Neo X stuff in the Wind Shrine. So that's always that's a nice.
It was
Yeah.
kind of funny.
The first ping of my combat, like ping. I'm like, oh man, already.
It was funny because I was just fooling around with the bingo card before the seed and actually marked that square just beforehand, like, yeah, okay, this one's over, just as a lark. And then Seawolf said in the race time chat, the goblin in Tool doesn't count. And I'm like, I know. And then, of course, that was the first boss in the Wind Shrine.
So how happy or how relieved were you two when Necro shows up at Lanka and not somewhere awful? That is a scary square to see on a board.
Yeah,
It is.
I can't
It
worry about
is.
too much.
Yeah, I can't either. And I feel like, generally speaking, in these seeds, you're so strong going into the void that I don't even know that I would have been super worried about Necro. We had Big Guard by that point. I'd skipped looting all of the shrines, I think, until I had... there was something specific I picked up. Maybe it was a...
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I
Chicken knife or
looted
something,
the
but-
pyramid about halfway through. Chicken knife was in Karnak.
Yeah, Chicken Knife was in Karnak. I think that's basically when I stopped looting, actually, is when I picked that up.
Yeah, I
And
want
then
to
I
get
thought
a few
I'll just wait
abilities.
till the void on everything else.
I was trying to find Doom somewhere, but I just didn't get my hands on it. I had X Zone, which is not right, but then I've got Odin later on in the void, so that helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that void loot was really good. It was almost like we were talking about, well, maybe it would have been worth it to go in with just like one tablet and loot the void and then leave and come back to finish, but you never know.
Yeah, no, I think
I've
Odin was
thought
actually a
about
boss
it.
reward.
Yeah, exactly. And I did think about that in this one thing I have looked at. I kind of want all 4 tablets if I'm going to do it. If I'm going to go loot the void, I'm probably just going to try to mostly clear it. But that is a good point too. It could have dipped that a little bit sooner and I think gotten some help. I forget what was in those first swath of chests, but it was some pretty good stuff. I think Freelancer was in Void Forest, so
Yeah, Void Forest.
that would have been really helpful.
Big Guard was in there. Big Guard was
And
in there.
Medio.
Freelancer, Medio.
and
Yeah.
Medio, yeah.
Which I don't think I ever cast. Actually, I cast once against Shoat to finish it off. Just 'cause I did 2 big dances. I'm like, all right, I know you're almost dead. Just throw rocks at and Leviathan too. So Medio would have been nice for the finisher, but just show up too late for the party.
Did either of you look and try to metagame the bingo board?
I almost jumped out of the void when I saw the last spot was available. I'm like, I'm really screwing the void if it's in the void. I might jump out. I didn't do Barrier Tower, so I'm like, Barrier Tower might be Twintania if people skip that, and I could just big brain it. But the odds were really slim. There's like 3 bosses in the void and 1 boss outside. I'm like, I'm not gonna roll the dice on a 25% chance.
I
talking
did.
about,
I kind of did. Sorry, Dry.
Go ahead.
But just
Yeah.
in response to Fiery's question, there were a couple points where I saw a couple bosses come off the board in fairly rapid succession. Like I remember seeing Gogo come off the board, and then Megisa came off the board almost immediately, and I went, "Oh, okay, so Megisa is the second the Bahamut check." So
Yeah, if
then
you-
I know I can set up my party to handle that. Not that it's a huge deal, but there were a couple spots like that. I can't remember what the others were off the top of my head, but I think Wing Raptor was maybe one where I thought, you know what, this is probably Wing Raptor. I'm going to put Mix on, and then I was able to Death Potion him.
Yeah,
Very
basically-
good.
Yeah, if you've been to a place already and like you see the trend going on, it's a big deal. I was either a little bit behind all the time, or I was given hints early. I guess I did Trines in order. I did North Mountain first before you finished North Mountain off. So yeah, it's all a matter of order who does what. And again, like the void, I was playing like big brain. Like if I just leave the void and go to the Barrier Tower and pray that Twintania is there, and laugh really hard if I win this race. But nah, just didn't seem smart.
Yeah, I don't even remember what was at the top of Barrier Tower. I know Monk checked it.
I
But-
thought maybe Seawolf meant Fork Tower instead.
No, I did
You
Fork
had
Tower.
to do had to do.
Oh, no, I
Fork
did Fork
anyway.
Tower.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that you had skipped Barrier Tower. But Fiery brought up the metagaming of that Arch could do with Megisa. So I'm glad that you actually noticed that as you were playing and knew what to expect going up there. That's pretty cool.
So you both were at Fork Tower at the same time, and there were 4 squares available. And of course, you only had 3 tablets at the time. And Monk had gotten to Fork Tower first, so we saw the second boss and knew that there were neither of the bosses at Fork were actually required for the bingo board. And I was just thinking, imagine if the first 4 bosses, against all odds,
In the
are the
void.
4 squares.
It's possible, and then you could be really lucky.
It could have been.
You could fade Fork and never have to actually do it. But it turned out, yes, of course, you had to actually do it.
We were strong enough. Like we had the power to do Fork, and you have I can be a part with summon. I have Golem. I have White Magic 6. I have Black 6. I have Time 6. I have Dance with Chicken Knife. It's like if I can't be the Void now, or I can't be the Tower now, then I'm in trouble. So.
Good point. It was, you developed a lot of power. Even though you only have to take out half the bosses, the nature of the bingo is that you end up doing almost all the checks.
I mean, if you get lucky.
And in this case, all of them.
Yeah, my 2 practices were all full things. I had one I did before, like I half them. It was late at night, and I just didn't have the seed. It was a samurai start, so it didn't really matter much. I was just throwing away everything. But I got about 20 of the bosses done the first 2 worlds. Like that one could have been a little faster, perhaps. It was pretty friendly. But typically, yeah, you find all the tabs and find all the stuff and find all the checks. Like in the Baron hints, like the Baron hints are kind of like a trap. Like I said, unless you're fully aware of what you have or don't have, because a Baron hint can still open up, something else for another boss spot. Like Sandworm might not be required for the Void, but it might be hiding your 25th boss.
Absolutely. Well, Seawolf, you get to say that you cleared this bingo board without doing 100% boss clear. So that's another little bonus for you to brag about, right?
Yeah,
Because you left that barrier tower undone.
There's some lonely boss. Who did I fight? I'm trying to think back. Was it? No, I fought Ifrit. I fought Rama. Who's I spare? I'm trying to think.
That is tough to remember.
I had
don't think I can remember.
Think of my tracker. I'll look.
I had to open up my tracker to realize that the other boss we were missing was T-Rex, and I was like, oh, I guess if you were paying attention, then you wouldn't have to...
Is T-Rex on the Necrophobe spot?
T-Rex is on the Necrophobe spot. I wasn't going to make the play there, but I realized it was him, and I'm like, oh, okay, so if it's Twintania, I get to fight Twintania, and if it's T-Rex, then I guess I just get to use a Phoenix Down and keep going.
Oh, I think it's... is it Melusine? I think Marigine is on the...
No, you had to Marigine.
No, she was
I think she was early.
No. Yeah, she was the canal.
On her
Never mind.
And was required. I'm trying to think who is at Barrier Tower now, too, and I can't.
Is it Greg 1?
Might have been Greg.
Yes,
it was. It was Greg. Yep.
Okay.
No, because I was just saying, like, if Monk were paying attention, if you were paying attention to your tracker after the Howley spot, if you noticed it was T-Rex, you could have just not even gone back to the save point. So you're probably not dying to Twintania. And
that's true.
T-Rex
I didn't want to have to fight Hallie again in case something went weird, like I dropped my controller or fell over in my chair or something.
Yeah, I was actually shocked.
I wasn't going to take the chance.
Twintania actually really soft. I was kind of surprised how weak it was at that spot.
Yeah, I put Big Guard up and I think didn't take really much any damage.
I take like 20 damage from the wind slashes. I was like, okay, that's just not scary.
I have to say, I'm really disappointed. I had an Assassin Dagger on my knight, and I was hoping for the swag Assassin Dagger proc to take out Twintania, but it didn't proc. So
yeah, you scared me there. You tried a couple sort of low chance methods just for fun before you.
That'd been very awkward.
Something reliable. To finish.
It was just that my summoner was 4th in the order, and so I tried the Assassin Dagger, and then I had to roll it around to them, but.
Yeah, I see. That's just how it played out, and it was convenient, so why not go for it?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't want to hold everyone here because it's already been a long seed and everything, so let's talk about future matches on the schedule, maybe? I think I saw one on the schedule. Of course, I don't have it in front of me.
Let's see. There is for
Freddy.
Yep. So coming up on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, there is Freddy versus Spellzap. That will be an exciting match. And then Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern is myself versus Francois Harpy. That should also be a good match. Of course, I'm hoping it's a good match. They should be exciting. I imagine they will be about the same length given my what I have seen from these seeds. But it should be very interesting. Archfield, you get to move on to face the winner of my match against Francois in a... I don't even remember what we're calling it. Semi-chaos seed.
Yeah, I think it's semi-chaos.
That's all it says.
Which will be interesting because you are not guaranteed your end game because you don't know where your end game is.
Yeah, you're just kind of learning, picking up a job level and seeing what you're actually getting from the job when you learn it. So it's pretty interesting. I kind of sort of played one for about 30 minutes by accident until I realized what was happening. I thought I was trying to do a practice for this week and accidentally used the flags for next week. I was getting very confused.
And Seawolf, unfortunately, it is a single elimination, but this is a top 8 round. So a very good showing from you. You've only been playing this game for...
about 3 months, yeah.
About 3 months, so...
Worked out pretty good. No, I had fun. I kind of backed in when IB had to back out, so I kind of fell into the playoffs by accident. So my apologies to Dr. Randolph for taking him down by accident, more or less. No,
but Seawolf is a long time Final Fantasy V player, just new to the rando. Yeah,
I've done 4 Fiestas. I've never done any speed runs, but Fiestas I've done for years, and just we play randomizers long enough. Dragon Warrior, Zelda, all the ones I played, you just get that feel for it, and you understand the rules a bit already. Like I'm new to the game per se for the new setup there, but you understand the rules of randomizer. You understand the setbacks, where to find things, and where to exploit your openings. Especially in FF5 all games, where the whole game is basically exploit this opening or die in the final boss, or die on Catastrophe, or die on Titania. So the game basically it's like exploit me or die. That's the game. That's the whole void in a vanilla game.
Oh, but a very strong showing from both of you tonight. Lots of fun. Unfortunately, no math, but of course, most streamers like no math streams. Math is not allowed.
Math is during the daytime. I am at work. I have come home. There was no math once I come home from work.
Yep, same.
That is fair.
Well, maybe at some point we'll have a no math flag or something. Not allowed.
Light blue mage.
Fire and I won't be happy about it, but
no, I was gonna say our commentary crew.
Every boss is a prime number now. You're all done.
Prime number is fine. You can get them down to 1 and then mix and then Dark Shock again. There you go.
In an older version of the randomizer, the bosses' levels were randomized in a narrow range around their original level, but that was maybe even by accident was reverted back to vanilla levels. And then I sort of argued that we should keep it at vanilla levels or make it like a separate flag where their levels are adjusted slightly.
Suddenly, you actually are using scan.
I was just going to say,
you would actually use scan. It would be very
Tier 1
important.
treasure scan.
Gonna learn observe really quickly and then equip it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe someday that can be brought back because Clear Tonic knows how to do it if we ever want that.
Alrighty. Well, again, it's getting late. We're all running late here in the show. Thanks again to the tech crew taking care of business. I'll be back on their side of the glass the rest of the way through. So looking forward to it some more.
Well, thank
GGC
you
Wolf.
for putting on a great show.
Work Archfield. Beat me in yet another randomizer. Good job.
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't mean to hold everybody, but I want to ask real quick. Have we ever played each other in DWR?
I think we have. If I played you in DWR, I probably got power drive by a half hour. I imagine it wasn't pretty.
I actually don't remember. I usually do, but I'm glad we got to play today.
There's always next month. We'll find out again.
Yep.
All right, and let's also give a shout out to Romstein tracking in the background in the middle of the night in France at an ungodly hour, and also SpeedGaming, who really had to fight to get this stream on the air. We had multiple people involved, Drossi and
yeah, I'm terribly sorry.
Goop
I was like,
and Feasel and
I
more.
didn't realize liking the orange would be such a trouble. My apologies.
I don't think it was picking orange that caused the problem. I think it went a lot deeper than that. But just shout out to Speed Gaming for making it happen, of course, yet again. And I think going forward, we'll be better prepared in the future for these flags. Fiery,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to say to
No, I
close it
mean
out?
that is exactly what I was going to say. Definitely a huge thank you to Rom for tracking, especially it's at 4 in the morning for him now. And of course, Speed Gaming, as you mentioned, it says something that Feasel had to get involved to get this all sorted out. So, but no, thanks again. Like I said, our next match is on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. There is no channel assigned to that yet. So hopefully that will be assigned soon. And hopefully we will see you around next time. And yep. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye bye.